How are we doing, guys? Thanks for joining me today on this Sunday afternoon. It's Sunday afternoon for me here in Bangkok, and bit of a surprise one, really. I wasn't going to do a stream today. I'm not scheduled to do a stream today, but there's nothing else I can do. I was going to go out and do some filming, but the PM levels are through the roof, into the red. Currently registering about 160. That's really 3 times the safety level for Thailand. Really, really bad air at the moment. You go out, you can smell it, you can see a haze over the city. It's just, I hate wearing a mask, but when I step out the front door now, I wear a mask. And it's really surprising because last week it was really good. It was in the green. So I just don't want to go out into this bad air. I thought, what shall I do? And I thought, hey, let's do a live stream. So here we are. And there's nearly 70 in. So good to have you in, guys. And very casual today. Haven't got anything lined up. And just start saying hi to everybody. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about today, as usual. Okay, so Andre, you're back. I believe it was you. You were in Hua Hin, weren't you? You're obviously back in the UK now. I was looking on the news that fire they had at Heathrow. It's caused chaos, hasn't it? They got rid of their backup diesel generators to be net zero. Crazy stuff. I think they said they have a plane landing there every less than a minute, like every 45 seconds, 24 hours a day. Crazy stuff. But there's the UK for you now. Ryan, how you doing? Spontaneous first stream. Yeah. The time won't be great for everybody, but it'll be good for others. Telsa Guy, good morning from a cold Norway. Well, I don't want to rub your nose in it, but it is very, very hot here today. It's 38 degrees. And with the pollution, it's not nice outside. Chris, how you doing? Good to see you in. Got somebody to take care of the naughty comments. Dog, how you doing? Ryan, good to see you on this Sunday afternoon. Terry T, staying up late in the USA. First time catching a live. Well, I hope it's worth it, Terry. Some are better than others. It was good the other Sunday afternoon we did it. Darren Howe, good morning all from Suffolk. David Woodland, good morning from a dull island. I was watching some... I watch TikTok, because they're very short clips. I also watch shorts on YouTube, if you're waiting for somebody to turn up or maintenance or something, you just flick through these videos. And I was looking at I can't remember which city it was in Ireland, but it was just, the guy was filming the town centre and he said, is this Ireland? And there wasn't a white face in the town centre. It was all migrants, and it's like, it makes you wonder what's happening to the UK these days. I suppose it's like that in a lot of towns, isn't it? I've got to be careful what I say, else I'll get the race card pulled on me, but I'm sure you know what I mean. Nico, how you doing? Good day, all from Brisbane. I get told off for saying the burn bit wrong. Brisbane, I think it is. Where's the bloody backup generators? Yeah, exactly. Where are the backup generators? They had backup generators, but, they've got all this net zero going on in the UK at the moment. It's ridiculous. And... let's not get into politics. Worst government we've ever had, and they've got another 4 years left, 3.5 years. Beach life. Hua Hin is all good for pollution. I would take a small trip there. I'm actually going down to Patia on Thursday, and I said to somebody who's down there, how's it down there? And you'd think because Patia is on the coast, you get a bit of a sea breeze in, but apparently it's just as bad down there. I've only asked one person. Hopefully by Thursday it'll have cleared up. I'm going down on the scooter again. Ivor, how do I pronounce that second name? Ivor Napion, is it? Sorry if I've destroyed your name there. Afternoon, Peter. Back in the UK, 1 month. Spring has just started, so every cloud has a silver lining. I was talking to somebody yesterday about, do you miss anything in the UK or your hometown? And I do kind of miss the autumns in the UK. Not the springs, winters, and summers, but the autumns. When it's crisp, you go out and you have those autumnal days where the sky is perfectly blue. And it's a little bit chilly, but it's fresh, really nice. Don't miss it that much to want to go back, though, that's for sure. Kevin Lawless, currently in Bangkok, recovering from a hair transplant. Okay, fair enough. Good. Bangkok's a good place. Well, anywhere in Thailand is a good place to get any kind of surgery done. I got my veneers done here, 90,000 baht. Well spent. Glad I spent it. A lot of money, but... looks better. Reggae Vibes. Hi, Peter. Actually catching a live stream again at the beginning. Okay, good. Reggae Vibes. Kevin Lawless. Hi, Peter. How you doing? Catman. Hi, Peter. What a nice surprise. Thank you very much, Catman. I was talking. I'm always having these conversations with people. I had lunch with somebody, a guy called Jim. Alfred Jim, his name comes up here as. And we were talking about trolls and armchair critics and just nasty people. There's nothing wrong with leaving a negative feedback as long as it's negative criticism and positive. Does that make sense? If you're just telling somebody your point of view, but it comes across as negative. There's nothing wrong with that. But I was telling him that on Facebook, it's like the Wild West. You know, you get, at least on YouTube, you can control it up to a point. They've got filters and they hold back comments that have got some keywords in them. You can set the keywords up yourself. I've done all that 5 years ago. But Facebook, there doesn't seem to be any kind of monitoring unless it's some really bad word, I guess. And, you know, the comments you get on Facebook, and Jim said to me, he says, because I'm always mentioning this, and he says, just out of interest, I thought I'd go onto your Facebook account and just look at some of the comments. He said, I couldn't believe some of the comments. He said, I can't believe it. He says, what are these people doing? You know, yeah, crazy stuff. Where were we? It's up to you. Just woke up and having a dump. A little bit too much information there. Vegas Scott, my first live with you. Nice to see you in. I'll put you up there, Vegas Scott, since it's the first. I don't know how long I'll be going for. I normally do the evenings, a Sunday afternoon. Nearly 100 in now. It's quite competitive at this time of the day. The reason I do my streams at 8 o'clock at night is I don't think there's anybody else in that I know doing streams in Thailand at that time of the night. Not the popular streamers that I know, but Sunday afternoon is quite competitive. You've got a few YouTubers in Patia are doing them at this time of day. So I don't always expect to get a huge amount of people in, but you know, we're close to 100 now. So I've only been going for 10 minutes, so that's okay. Kevin, right, you're saying absolutely right about Ireland with the migrants. I'm sure it's a lot of towns in all over the UK, isn't it? I can't pronounce that name, so I'm gonna and I won't put. I shouldn't have put that comment up. Right, Phil Almedia, is it? Hey, Peter, where's that pretty shirt? I got 3 of them. It's hanging up over there. I thought I wouldn't wear it today. I had a feeling the fashion police have been monitoring the channel today, so I thought I'd just go like real plain Jane and put on one of my decathlon t-shirts. Rick Angrove, BFA, you're riding a scooter to Patia from Petra, from where, Peter? From Nana. You know, Nana BTS station, that kind of area. I did it 3 weeks ago. I went my Honda ADV 160. It's got a top box on it. I've now bought panniers for the side that you lift the seat up, the material goes in the middle, there's a couple of side pockets. It's fine. Cruise at 100 kilometers an hour. I had someone on the back, and I went down to Kanchanaburi on it last month, you know. But I've learned the last trip, because the last time I left Patia, I went to the Golden Ferret for breakfast, and I left Patia about 11 o'clock in the morning, and it was really hot coming back. I mean, really uncomfortably hot. You know, you're sitting on a motorbike or a scooter for 3 hours. I mean, I stopped for breaks, of course I did, but even the wind doesn't give you any let up, because it's hot wind. You know, I mean, you get this wind flowing over you, but it's actually hot. You know, so it's not like in the UK where, you know, if it's a hot day, you get on a bike and you do 50 miles an hour, you've got this cold air coming over you. It's actually hot air. So what I've decided to do now is get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and leave at 7 while it's still relatively cool. That's what I did when I went to Kanchanaburi with Steve. We left at 7 o'clock in the morning. It was really nice going down to Kanchanaburi. When we came back, we did the same thing. We had lunch and came back, or a late breakfast and came back, and it was hot. You know, that's the only thing, the temperature. But yeah, going down on Thursday. 3 nights. I've got another hotel that I've never stayed in before on Soy One, so I'll be reviewing that as well while I'm down there. It's another hotel review. Reggae 5. Morning, Peter. I need one more in. I've got 100. Right. Morning, Peter. Bangkok bound on Friday. Anywhere I can head to nearby to avoid the worst of Songkran. The best place to be. Well, it's not until the 12th, is it? When are you coming? Next Friday. So Bangkok bound on Friday. What's the date on Friday? So what's the date today? Sunday today. So you'll be here on the 28th. Yeah. So, well, I don't know how long you're coming for, but it starts on the 12th. But the best place to be on Songkran, really, if you don't really want to be involved in it too much, is Bangkok, because it only lasts kind of 2.5 days, 3 days. It fizzles out on the 3rd day, but in Patia, it goes on for 10 days, you know. And it's a bit more subdued. If you go down to Nana, Soy 4, there's probably 500 people, 600 people, all with electric water pistols and trucks with big barrels of ice water on the back going up and down. But people go there especially to celebrate it, to have fun. But it's very difficult to avoid it. I know what you mean, though. I try to avoid it. I used to get into Songkran, but not anymore. So what I tend to do is stock up with some beers in the fridge, get plenty of food in and everything. And I tend to just work on my PC in the day until later in the evening. Then I'll go up to the gym, have some exercise, watch TV. I won't go out for 3 days. If I do, it won't be till like 10 o'clock, and it'll be down this end of the street, not the busy end. Eric, how you doing? Constructive feedback. That's what I was looking for. Exactly. Catman, 95 watching, only 10 likes, 112 now. I think people, they listen. A lot of people listen and they don't watch. They're up a ladder or out with a dog or something. Maybe they can't press the like button, but it would be nice if I got some more likes. I'll put that up there. Edward Javia, Peter, next month is the Songkran Festival. Are you planning for this? Well, I've just discussed that, haven't I? So now, years ago, I used to really enjoy it. I used to go down to Pat Pong, and stand outside one of the bars. All the girls would be outside. I'd have an electric water pistol. People are walking by you, spraying them. It's a lot of fun, but when you've done it for a long time, you get kind of bored with it. It's same old. And I don't get involved in it at all now, not at all. A lot of people come here, especially for the festival, because it is such fun. A lot of Asians come here from neighboring Asian countries as well. F5, we watching you overseas too. You're international. Wow. Okay, thank you. Dog, come on, guys, give the click like button. Okay, I'll put that up there. The Bald Eagle, morning all from West Midlands. How you doing, Bald Eagle? It's up to you. Hey, check. What are you saying there now? It's up to you. Hey, check this out. Thai Airways doing direct flights from Heathrow at £725 for next month. We'll be buying. Well, let's hope they get the electric lights. Let's hope they get the electric sorted out before that happens. It might be all okay now. I haven't been following it. I just read the story about how the thing blew up. That's a good price. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Is it Mac? I don't know. Hi, Peter. Always the best and most informative. The Thai-based YouTube streamers just on a short trip back to the UK arrived 3 hours before London Heathrow broke. Okay, thanks for your kind words. You're lucky you got in, else you could have been diverted to Manchester or somewhere else. The Weird World of Whitaker. Good name. All right, Peter, good time for us here in Oz. I suppose it depends where you are in Australia, because it's a vast continent, isn't it? It's one of the few countries in the world I've never been to. I haven't even touched down in a plane there. But we get documentaries in the UK about certain aspects of things that go on in Australia. And there's some beautiful islands, isn't there? Plenty of beautiful places. But I've heard it's very, very expensive in Australia. But that's just secondhand information. Johnny Wood, how you doing? Lama Peterson, is it true Hooters has gone? The one in Patia, yeah, I heard they were relocating, but the one on the Beach Road closed down. Huge place. Never used to see many in there, to be frank. The one on Soy 4 hasn't closed down because I passed it yesterday. There's another one on Soy 15. I think that's still up and running, but that isn't very busy either. It's the one on Soy 4 is the one that gets all the business. I just mentioned you, Jim. I was talking about the trolls and the on Facebook. I recognize that guy. We've just had lunch. That's a mouthful, this Weird World of Whitaker. Watching the live and Chinese GP at the same time. Okay, good stuff. Beach life, Thailand will be changed from the 60-day to 30-day. Yeah, okay, so that's a good subject to discuss. So I don't know if you've heard this. The Thai Tourism Authority, they wanted to boost tourism, get it back up to the numbers pre-COVID. And what they did, as you know, they increased the, it's not a visa, but your stamp when you come in from 30 days to 60 days for a lot of countries. And those countries that were only coming in for 14 days got increased to 30 days. And we thought it was going to be kind of forever, right? Now they've just, they're going to change it back. It's going back to 30 days. They've announced it. But I was thinking yesterday, there must be a lot of people out there who have planned their holiday based on their 60-day visa. And maybe they were going to stay even longer, maybe 3 months. Maybe they thought, well, I'll get 60 days when I arrive and I'll go to immigration. I'll get another 30 days. And maybe their air ticket's like 90 days, 89 days. It would have spoiled all their plans. And I was trying to think, what would be the reason for it? Because there's headlines on the news channels all over. You watch the online Thai news channels and they'll say because of rowdy tourists and, troublemakers and things like that. But I don't think it is that. I think the reason they're bringing it back down to 30 days, I think they missed the 1900 baht, because a lot of people, thousands of people come out for a month, they go to immigration, get it extended for another month. Well, that's 1900 baht, isn't it? And that's a lot of money to lose. And I think they kind of worked out that they don't want to lose that money. And now they're bringing it back down to 30 days. Barry Bluebird, good morning from the UK. It's pretty early in the UK now, isn't it? What time is it? So it's about 3 now. So that'll be, I don't know if we're 6 hours or 7 hours behind. 3 o'clock, 2, 1, 12, 11, 10. So it's 9, just coming up to 9 a.m. if it's 6 hours and just come up to 8 a.m. if it's 7 hours. Chris, Hooters Patia has closed Yeah, that is closed quite a while ago now, Chris. It must be at least 6 months ago. Huge place. It, needed a lot of people to fill it. I never seen many people in there. It was out of the way. It wasn't. It was way down past towards the Hard Rock Cafe that way. Right too far. It wasn't really within walking distance. You would have had to get a BART bus. You would have had to go from the beach road up to the second road, all the way down to the bottom of the second road, back onto the beach road, and then back up to Hooters. It was a very, very inconvenient location, actually, if you just wanted to go there and have a few beers. Had it been on the main bit of beach road between, say, Soy 8 and Soy 1, it probably would have done okay. Okay, Vegas Scott. I like riding scooters after hiring a car for that trip. I don't think I would take a scooter for that trip. I would be open to a scooter trip that's more of a casual ride. Well, it is very casual. I mean, there's no. I'm not on a time limit or anything like that. But the best thing about going down to Patia, I've still got the car. I've decided not to sell the car. I mean, there's no point. But the best thing about going down to Patia on a scooter is I've got my own scooter down there. Because you always hire scooters. You got to get them back on time, and some of the scooters you hire aren't that good. I had one once with a rattly front mudguard, and it was really kind of irritating. Having my own scooter in Patia is really good. I can take the top box. It's a Givey top box, and I just press a button and the whole thing comes off, and I can carry it like a suitcase up to the room. That's good fun. It's a novelty at the moment. I'm sure I'll go back to the car. Hobson's Choice. Hope you're feeling better. I'm now suffering from sore throat and headache. The PM Air 2.5 is bad again. Yes, it's you're right. It's, I've had a runny nose and it's getting better now, but I'm wearing a mask. Let me just check what it is right now. I don't know if you can relate to the PM. I'm just looking on my phone. It's charging at the moment. Right. I'll unplug it for a sec. Right. So it's gone down by about 5. I don't know if you can see that, but that's the pollution today. It's the station has at Soy Samahan, and it says 158. I mean, that's bad. The safe level in Thailand, they say if it goes over 50, then it's unsafe. In Europe, it's 35, so 160. So I see a lot of people a lot of foreigners walking around without masks, and that's fine. If you're only here for a couple of weeks, you'll go back with a runny nose, okay? But when you live here, there's over 30,000 people a year die of respiratory problems here in Thailand. I'm sure a lot of them have problems anyway. Like the people who died during COVID, they had underlying health issues, didn't they? But there is over 30,000 people a year die of health issues here in Thailand. Respiratory problems. And I think if you live here and you go out constantly without a mask, I think you could get very, very sick potentially. I've got a big air cleaner thing there, filter. I put it on last night for the first time in ages, but it didn't go into the red. So I think in the apartment, I'm okay. It's when I go out. It's terrible, really terrible. If you come into Bangkok, you'll see why I'm talking about it so much. You look out of the city, it's just a big haze, and it smells like it's a cross between like diesel and burning wood. There's a real smell there. RC Rex, like smashed high from Torquay this Sunday morning. Good stuff. Wacko Wambo. Hey, Peter, I have binged your whole catalogue recently. Loved it. Okay, thanks. I've got over 1,000 videos on there now. Over 1,000. That's a lot, isn't it? And over 18 million viewings. That's a lot. URL Droid Superbot. Are you required to go to visa office every 90 days, or you have a YouTuber permanent residence visa? No, I'm actually on a work permit. I came out here on a retirement visa the first year, and I've switched over. Don't ask me how I did it, because I had somebody pull a few strings for me, help me out do it. But I am on a work permit now, because it's just I'm how can I not be? I do YouTube, right? Okay. McLaren. Okay, thank you for. I'll forget, but thank you for clarifying that. How you doing, Paul Austin? Good from Ubon Ratchathani. Love the live streams. Thank you, Paul. Ubon Ratchathani. I haven't been there for a long time, years. Aussie Rules, how are you? I won't mention any names. Nice to meet you for lunch last week, Peter. Yeah, it was good. It was good. Thank you for lunch as well. And it's a great idea what we discussed about the videos. I still haven't. I've kind of been thinking about it all week, and I just can't get my head around the logistics of it for now, the monetization and all that. But I won't give up on the idea. Like it was good, and it was a pleasure to meet you as well. We might bump. You live here, so we might bump into each other again. Paul Austin, good afternoon from. Oh, I've just read that, haven't I? Right, let me just make sure that's not Franco texting me there on WhatsApp. He always tells me off when I'm on a live stream. No. Okay. Some of my older, I've been getting messages from YouTube about copyright. Some of my older, it doesn't really affect me because live streams I did like 18 months ago. Nobody will watch them now. When you do a live stream, there might only be like, there's 129 in here now, but over the course of the next month, it'll probably get 3,000 to 4,000 people view this live stream. People watch them when they listen to them when they're driving and stuff like that. But I used to put a lot of Thai music on my videos. If you go back and look at my older videos in the early days, some of the intros were like classical Thai music. I don't mean classical as in Beethoven. I mean, they were like old Thai songs from the 60s and 70s that were kind of quite fun to listen to. And some of my outgoing music was also Thai, and I never got picked up on them. I just got them off old CDs that I'd bought here, you know, music from the 60s and 70s from Thailand, pop music, you know. I thought, oh, that's quite cheerful. Don't know what they're talking about, but it sounded good and people seemed to like it. And I put it on some of the videos, including the live streams. I'm suddenly getting all these, you know, copyright. I'm not going to get the channel taken down because they don't give me a strike. They just say you can't monetize it, but they give you the opportunity to remove the song, which I've been doing. But it's weird how they pick it up after 18 months, and there's been 3 this week. It's up to you. 10 to 8 in England now. Okay, so you're 7 hours behind. Okay, Barry Bluebird, what's your plans this week? So I don't really have plans, but I know what I'm going to do on Monday. I'm going out to make a video because over the last few weeks, I've made quite a few videos, but they've all been like how to or don't do or kind of knowledge videos where I'm just sitting talking to the camera. And I thought it's about time I go out and do a video, even though some of those videos don't do very well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going out on Monday. I won't tell you what I'm going to film because I don't want somebody else to go and do it before me. But I'm going to go out on Monday and I'm going to do a video. So I guess Tuesday and Wednesday I'll be editing that video to get it up for members for Saturday, and then everybody else on the Tuesday. And then I'm off to Patia Thursday on the scooter. I'll be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I come back on Sunday, and then I've got 3 hours of live streams next Sunday. I've got the regular live stream and the members live stream. Let me just say thank you to Perbert. Thank you, Perbert. Awesome. Cheers. I hope you like the video, the last one, budgets and all the rest of it. Okay, I've done a thanks for the super chat, by the way. I didn't even thank you for it. So I've done a video. I've released it to members already. It will be released. What day are we today? Sunday. I think it'll be released to everyone else on Tuesday. Yeah. So I've done a video, you know, how much do you need to live here? And I've done it really what I spend a month, you know, my rent, electric, water, entertainment, groceries, health, everything. And I've done this video. It's about half an hour long. And if you're wondering how much you need to live out here, you can see what I spend, and I'll tell you kind of lifestyle I've got. And then if you're intending to come out here, you can maybe add a bit to it or take away, just depending on your lifestyle. Okay, who's I haven't read out there. Hobson's Choice, yeah, we've just discussed that, haven't we? Change to 30-day propose will bring in more BART for sure. Let's put that up there. Why isn't it going up? There we go. So change to the 30-day propose will bring in more BART for sure for them. UK 7 hours behind until end of month, then 6 hours again, yeah. Me and Oi, if it does go back to 30 days on arrival, just apply for a tourist visa for 60 days, then get 30 days extension. You'll be okay, more paperwork. But I guess some guys have already bought their tickets, you know. It's just frustrating, isn't it, for some people? Clocks go forward next week. What are we in? We're in March, aren't we? Yeah, end of March, they go forward. I can't pronounce that name, but I'll put it up on screen. Hooters 15 closed a while ago. Okay, I didn't know that because I never go down there. Sukhumvit 15. I knew it wasn't very busy, but their prices, you know, I mean, I've got to be careful what I say, but it's a chain, an American chain brand sports bar, isn't it, kind of thing. And the prices are, you know, that video I made, I paid, I mean, I'm not slating it, I'm just stating a fact. I popped into the one on Soy 4 and I paid 351 baht for a pint of draft San Miguel. You know, for me, that's London prices. You don't come to Bangkok to spend that sort of money on a drink, do you? Hobbs's Choice, mask, yeah, 182 here. Wow, that's high. McLaren, where I live up in is it Bang? Can't pronounce that either. But Byung Can, is it? The air has been fine, but you can smell and see the fires from Laos all the time. That's what it is. It's a burning of the sugarcane stalks. Paul Austin, good afternoon from Ubon Ratchathani. Love the live streams. Thank you, Paul. Paul Hoskins, how are you doing? I'd go back with more than a runny nose. No doubt, Paul. Brian, there will be F1 in Thailand. They got a good track up in Buriram. SOS Chris, there is a planned temporary exemption for arrivals for 60 days that have proof of exit flights if beyond 30-day exemptions. Okay, so they've taken into account people who have already booked their tickets. That's good. It's up to you. Air quality 156 in Ipswich for some reason. Are you sure it's not the app that's gone wrong? Vegas Scott, I was there in January when I went back to Bangkok. The pollution was really high. Think over 200 they had a free rail service for a week. Was so brown. Patia seemed a little better. That wasn't so long ago, was it? They opened up the MRT and the BTS for everybody free, hoping that it would reduce the traffic in Bangkok. It was bloody murder on the BTS. I mean, it was like sardines, packed like sardines. I went to Tongluo last night with a friend. There's a restaurant called 5-5. It's a kind of fusion between Thai food and Chinese food. Excellent food. It doesn't open until 6:30 in the evening. It stays open all night, literally. And if you're not there by 7 o'clock, you won't get a seat. It's so popular, this place. And we decided to go there. But the downside of going there, I had a beautiful meal, absolutely fantastic, tasty, not too expensive either. But the downside of going there, you have to take you want to get there for 6:30, so you have to take the BTS from Nana here at about 6:10, and it's everybody coming from town. You know, they're going home from work, and you're like a sardine. You can't even move your foot. You know, I mean, you're literally like this on the train for about 4 stops. Right, the weird world of Whitaker. I like Bangkok. Let me hang on before I do that one. I disagree with that, Stephen. He says you don't need a work permit to work online. You need a work permit to do any kind of work in Thailand. The word work before permit kind of gives it away. They're very, very strict on it. Anybody who does any kind of work, whether it's online or not online, you're supposed to have a work permit. And if they catch you working without a work permit, you could be deported. I'm gonna disagree with that on Stephen. The weird world of Whitaker. I like Bangkok, but the pollution is not fun. I only spend a few days in Bangkok when visiting Thailand now. I got no choice because I live here and I can't really leave the city. I've got things I can't. There's reasons why I can't leave the city for now. But yeah, I don't like the pollution. Who likes pollution? That's one good thing about the rainy season. It will get rid of all that. Paul Hoskin, is the pollution worse than a few years ago? It is. It is really bad. I've never seen it this bad before. But it's really weird because last week, as I say, I went outside and it was cool. I looked at I check IQ air every day. That determines whether I'm going out, whether I'm wearing a mask, whether I'm going to make a video, what I'm going to do. I'm definitely going out to make a video tomorrow. And if it is like this, I'll wear a mask. I don't need to do too much talking to the camera. And if I do, I'll have to just take it off. But yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Jim, yes, between Prompong and Asok, rough tracks on BTS. I see what you mean. Yeah, we're talking about, on the BTS, if you're coming from Nana, between Asok and Prompong, that station, the track is quite rough there. When you go over it on the train actually kind of buckles a little bit and you sway. It's kind of rough. And I said to Jim when we went there last night, I said, do you realize, Jim, this is probably the worst bit of track on the BTS in Thailand? And now I've mentioned it to him, he's on it and he's noticed it. The name I can't pronounce. Hi Peter, thanks for having me. The end is nigh, folks, so let us pray, shall we? I don't know what that's about. Keith Morris, interesting stories yesterday. You know what? It wasn't my favorite upload. I read those 2 stories. One was on the Patia Mail about the old couple who bought the villa in Hua Hin and were attacked. I thought it was quite an interesting story, so I made it as one of my Saturday stories. I've now made up my mind that the first story is probably a bullshitter. The guy, Conan, I think his name is, he said he was locked in a compound and he was living on £200 a week. And thinking about the story and some of the things he was saying, personally, it's only an opinion. Opinions, everyone's entitled to opinion, even me. My opinion is I don't think it. I think it's a bit of a scam because there was a GoFundMe page, right? And I think he's a guy living in the Philippines, and a lot of the Filipino YouTubers, if you look at them, they feel the same. They think it was a scam. So I wish I hadn't uploaded the story now, but it's up there, and it's up for people to make up their own minds, isn't it? I do get stories made up and sent in, but I can normally spot them when people make up story and send them in. They just don't put the detail into them, and sometimes I can tell a story that's been done on GTP. Somebody will go onto Chat GPT and ask it to write a story about a bar girl and a guy, and it's just so obvious. It's so obvious. I just delete it. Okay, I put that up for Paul. Real Rennie, wow, this is a nice surprise. Greetings to everybody. How you doing? Who was it? I forgot who it was there. Let's turn it off so I can see the name. Real Rennie. Okay, right. Aussie Mike, hi Pete. Any date when it's going back to 30 days of arrival? It's a proposal at the moment. It's not in the Royal Gazette, so it's not it's going to happen, but there's no data set yet because it's a proposal. I'll let you know as soon as I know. Silky, greetings from Zurich. Leslie, how are you doing, Leslie? International jet setter. Leslie's got a lovely place. He lives, the guy Silky here, he's got a nice apartment overlooking the river. And funny enough, I had lunch with him one day, and we went and sat on his balcony. It's not a high rise, it's an older building. I think it was about 14 floors up. And he's sitting on his big balcony with a table, and we're sitting there and the boats are going past. But again, it was a really polluted day, and I sat outside on his balcony for about 3 hours drinking endless cups of coffee, and I came home and I felt like crap, Mianoi. TM6 arrival card supposed to be coming back possibly May 1st, has to be done online, maybe back to 30 days same time. Yeah, they wanted to get rid of the paper. Do you remember the old the TM6s? They handed them out on the aircraft, the blue like that they were with blue writing, and if you lost the second half that was pinned in your passport, God help you, because I lost it once. It was a nightmare. They just want to bring that back, but they want to get rid of the paper. They want to get rid of the paper. McLaren, not strictly true, Peter. DTV visa designed for working online. Okay, so that's a completely different visa. I was talking about what I was trying to. Let me read your comment first. DTV visa designed for working online is example. The clear distinction is not working for Thai organization taking work from a Thai. Then you need a work permit. Again, that's strictly not true. Okay, the DTV visa, that's something completely different, and you're right on that. I'll agree with you on that one. But they're very distinctive about working. What I was referring to is if you're on a retirement visa, you cannot work. You just can't, okay? And whether you're working online or outside of online, like a bar or something, it's considered work. And yes, you're right that they have protected professions for Thais. Like, you can't come here and be a taxi driver. You can't come here and be an electrician or a plumber or open a hair salon. They're all protected businesses. There's very few businesses that Farangs can do, or employment that Farangs can do. I managed to get here because I was in hotel management with an international company. So things like that they can do. But they're very, very clear on it. If you're working, whether you're online or not online, you cannot work without a work permit. Now, the new DTV visa is designed to kind of take care of that. So okay, that's okay. But coming here on a retirement visa and opening a YouTube channel or doing some kind of TikTok and making money, you can't do it. I mean, people do it, of course they do, but they're not supposed to do. The rules are really clear on working here in Thailand. Let me just say thank you to Aussie Chris, first of all. Thank you, Aussie Chris. Just arrived home after 2 months in Thailand, mate. God bless you for hitting us with a surprise dose of Thailand. Thank you more than let me thank you for the super chat. And also Wes Appleyard. How you doing, Wes? Thank you for that, mate. I do thanks. I will have a cold one. I do notice your comments on some of the stories sometimes. They're wild, aren't they, some of these stories? But I know you still watch. So thanks very much. Okay. I'm not trying to start an argument here with the work permit thing, but the government they're very, very clear on working, what visas you need. Right, Vegas Scott. F1 in Vegas is mixed, causes some road closures on the Vegas Strip on the bright side, they pave and maintain the roads top notch, so smooth. I went to Vegas a couple of times. I quite enjoyed it. It's very clever how you can't cross a road without going through a casino. So you're standing on the side of the road and you want to go over there. You kind of go up some stairs and then you walk through a casino and you come down the other side. Crazy. They want you in them casinos. Wiggler DLT, you've put yep, scam. Stephen Pope, okay, you're probably right, but I know loads of YouTubers on retirement visas. See, that's a different story, though, isn't it? I mean, if you ask a Thai YouTuber, they'll say, oh, well, I don't need it. I'm not working. It's just I'm making videos. But if he's making money, then he's working, isn't he? He's getting paid for those videos. And you're right. A lot of them are making, they're not on. I know the ones who are. I know who is on a work permit, actually, but I'm not going to say. But you're right. They do. They do. Let's put that to bed now. Stephen Pope. Okay. I've just read that, haven't I? Where's Appleyard? Good afternoon, mate. Just flicking through YouTube and noticed you were online. How's the pollution? We'll find out in May. Terrible, terrible. Wes, I've been talking about it all the way through the stream, so I won't go on about it too much now. It's currently at about 160 here in Bangkok. The safe level that the Thai government give out is 50. In Europe, it's 35. And the reason I'm doing a stream today is because I don't want to go outside. I'd normally be out doing something, but I just don't want to go out. I had lunch with a friend. I'm having dinner with a different friend, and I'll be wearing the mask when I go out. Vietnam Viking, you said 5 restaurant, Peter. Do you mean 55? Yeah, it's 5. No, I said 5. So yeah, 55. It's called 5. Opens at 6:30. You're looking it up, are you, online? Highly recommended. Barry Bluebird, been watching White Lotus. Do you know where the hotel is that they film at? Also, that they are in Bangkok now. Haven't seen. They are in Bangkok now. Haven't seen you yet. I've never watched it. It's not my sort of show. What I do know about that show, the White Lotus, it's filmed. Which island is it filmed on now? It's filmed in. Where was it filmed? It's filmed on one of the islands. Somebody will tell me here. I think, is it Krabi? No, it's not Krabi. So what it is, they're not, wherever it is filmed, one of the islands, somebody will tell me, I know where it is, I've just forgotten, right? So they're not having a low season. Normally you'll have your high season, then they'll drop down, and they're having a continued high season because people are watching this show, The White Lotus, and they're like, wow, that place is beautiful. Where is it? They look it up, find it, and they book it. So there's a lot of people visiting there right now. Let's see if somebody's told me which island it is yet. Koh Samui, that's it. Thank you. I did know it was Koh Samui, but I just, the old brain's going. What's left of it? Did I say thank you, Aussie Chris? I think I did, didn't I? Yeah, I did say thank you to you. Dick's Enormous, pumping it through. Paul Hoskins, do the bar girls pay tax? It's illegal, Paul, isn't it? There isn't any of them P, the word that begins with P. There's none in Thailand, is there? Ellie the dog. That's a new one for me. How do you get your chats up on screen? My young son is doing a uni project, and I think this would be a good idea. It's not that I don't want to tell you, but I'm here on a live stream right now. Okay, so what I would really suggest is ask him to look on YouTube and ask that question in YouTube, and you'll get 20 videos on how to do it. So if you're talking about the how do you get the chats up on screen? If he does it through YouTube alone, you can't do it, as far as I know. I use software. Okay, I use special commercial live streaming software that I pay for, which gives me the feature to do things like put pictures on screens, put videos on screens, things like that. If you're just doing it with YouTube, it doesn't. If you're just hitting go live on YouTube, you can't do it. You've got to have specialized software. And he can find out what software. There is some free software. Just look on YouTube again, put the question in. Right, that's his, where were we? Right, McLaren, good point, rework permit, Pete. There's a lot of misinformation around. I'm glad somebody believes me this afternoon, yeah. They're really strict on it. Hector, I remember meeting Vegas Scott at the Male on Male Adult Film Festival in Vegas on the Strip. Scott is a legend. There you go, Scott. You got a fan there. Okay. I thought that was going to turn nasty because I don't pre-read these comments. I just read them out. I don't know what they're going to say, and sometimes I wish I had read them out before I put them up. Perbit, when are you going to Cambodia? So I'm going at the end of April. It's all booked up. I'm going with a Thai friend of mine. The air ticket, I'm going with Air Asia from the old Dong Muang airport. I'm only going for 3 nights. I'm doing 2 days. One day I'm doing the temples. It's like $37 to get into Angkor Wat. but that is for a day ticket. There's 2 or 3 temples. And then on the second day, I think I'm going to go to the Genocide Museum. I've done the one at in the capital, Phnom, is it? I can never pronounce it. But they've got a Genocide Museum also at Siem Reap. So I'll fly straight into Siem Reap. So I'm hoping to get some footage. I know there's other people done lots of videos from Siem Reap, but I've never done any. And I'm looking forward to it. The ticket was 5,500 baht return with Air Asia. So from Dong Muang, I'll get a grab cab up to the airport. And I'm staying in a hotel. It's kind of like an old colonial building. 2,000 baht for 3 nights. And I was very, very lucky as well, because in Cambodia, you pay with dollars, US dollars, but you get the change back in Cambodian money. And you can buy meals and drinks with that Cambodian money. But if you got it left over when you come out, it's basically worthless. You know, you can use it in Cambodia. So you get a load of $100 bills, and you're going to come back with a lot of, I think it's called Riyadh. And I'm lucky because an American friend of mine here who's gone back to the States on Wednesday just happened to have $300 in $20 notes. Okay. And he didn't give them to me, obviously exchange them to baht, but I went through them, and you know, the notes have to be absolutely perfect. No little rips, no writing on them, no big creases in them. And he brought them around, and I went through each one of them. I was able to get $240 worth of decent notes. The other, what was it, $60 I gave back to him because he can spend them in the States. So I've got 24, is that, yeah, 24 $20 notes, which is great now, because that means I can, I will get a couple of $50 notes as well for the temples and stuff. But that's very, very lucky. A lot of people telling me Koh Samui for the White Lotus now. Okay, we've got that one nailed. Paul Hoskins said, it's all the motorbike riders revving their engines at the traffic lights that's causing the pollution. I tell you what I hate is the tuk-tuks have taken out their baffles, you know, and when they get a clear run on Sukhumvit, they open them up, and they're 2-stroke engines, and they're so loud. If you're on the pavement talking to somebody, you actually have to stop talking and wait for the tuk-tuk to go by. Yeah, I don't know about that, Paul. I got one of the features I like on the Click had it as well. One of the features I like on the Honda ADV, which was also on the Click, was when if you've got a button that if you turn it on, you don't have to have it on. If you turn it on and you stop for more than, I think it's 2 seconds, 3 seconds, you come up to the traffic lights, you stop, and the engine just cuts out. So to start it, you don't need to push any buttons or turn any keys or anything. So your engine stops, you save fuel, you stop the pollution. As soon as that light goes green, all you do is throttle, and the engine automatically starts. It's great. I use it manually. So if I come up to traffic lights and like ASOC, and I know I'm going to be there for a while, then I'll put the green button on, the button for the green light on, and the engine cuts. As soon as I go again, I turn it off, because sometimes you get stuck in traffic, you're weaving in and out, and the engine stops. McLaren again. White Lotus was in Koh Samui, and I think some was shot in Phuket. 4 seasons. Okay, I might have a look at it tonight. I mean, people are talking about it. I haven't actually watched it. Macmillan Nurse, thank you very much, mate. You do that most weeks. A few quid for a top man. Thanks, appreciate it. I've forgotten the name of your partner. If you tell me, I'll give her a shout out if she's watching. Ellie the dog, thanks. I'm not technically gifted. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm coming up to 65 next month. When I started my YouTube channel 5 years ago, I used to hang, it looked like a bed sheet on the wall with a painting of a palm tree on it, okay? I didn't have pictures in the background like I've got now. I wasn't technical at all. Everything I've done, including my own website, I've done myself. I've basically taught myself. And the way to do it is you just watch YouTube videos, how do you do a green screen? How do you fix the lighting? You know, it's all out there. It's brilliant. Dog says, yeah, I remember the fast tuk-tuk rides on Sukhumvit. It was fun. Yeah, but they've taken their baffles out now. They're really noisy. Okay, God, I shouldn't have asked. I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it more? It can't be Manira, is it? Is it Manira? Sorry if I screwed your name up, but hi to you anyway. That's a kind of a weird name. Manira. Yeah, okay, I'll leave it there. Terry T, thank you very much. Have you ever stayed at a travel lodge in Bangkok? I haven't. I've stayed in one. I've stayed on a few in the UK. They're crap in the UK, aren't they? They're completely different here. How do I know that? Because they're not the same as. It's like the Ibis hotels. I worked for Accor, and Ibis hotels in Europe are basically they're I won't even say the word. I wouldn't stay in one, but out here they're like really nice hotels. You know, like 3-star. I was part of the opening team of an ibis in a place called Yogyakarta in Indonesia. I didn't say that wrong. It wasn't Jakarta. It was Yogyakarta in East Java, and it was real nice. A 200-bedroom hotel, coffee shop, bar, swimming pool, real nice place. So I'm guessing, but I would say if you're staying in a travel lodge, it'll be nice. And you can always have a look. Go on YouTube and just put travel lodge. The travel lodge you're going to stay at. I bet somebody's made a video about it. That's what I do. If I'm looking at a hotel, like when I booked in Cambodia this time, I see it on a gold and I think, yeah, that looks all right. But before I book it, I go into YouTube and I check if anybody's made a video. And there's always a video, or a couple of videos of the hotel. I mean, I make videos. I don't live in Patia, but I make videos. I do hotel reviews, and I especially stay in a different hotel each time so that I can do a review. And this time on Thursday, I'm checking into a hotel I don't know anything about. I've never stayed there before. It's on Soy One, and I'll do a review. The only problem I've got with doing hotel reviews, if I find a nice hotel, there's one I like on Soy 5 called the Blue Sky Resort. Can't ever get a room in there. You know, there's another one called the Shade Residence on Soy 2, 14,000 baht a month, no contract. Okay. I can never get a room in there. Why? Because I did a review. I told everyone it's a nice hotel. I showed them the big room with a full-size fridge, 14,000 for a month. 4 times I've tried to book it. I can't get in. Can't get into the Sky Resort I just told you about. What other ones? Yeah, they just, as soon as I do a review, that's it. They're gone. I can't get in. Blackwoods. I used to stay at Blackwoods when it was 1,200 baht a night. I did a couple of reviews on Blackwood, or one review on Blackwood Hotel on Soy 7. It's now 3,500 baht a night to stay there. Always fully booked. A lot of Arabs stay there, though. The reason I mention a lot of Arabs stay there, it's popular with the Arabs. That's why the hotel's full a lot of the time. Okay, Wes, we arrive in Thailand on the 13th of May, but I'm staying in Phuket for 5 nights. Don't you mean mini Moscow? For 5 nights, then flying to Bangkok on the 19th of May. We do plan to trip to Phetchabun. Not sure when, but we'll try to catch up for dinner. My shout. I'm normally free in the daytimes or late afternoons, Wes. Evenings are a little bit difficult for me. I'll tell you why when I meet you. But anytime up to kind of like 5, 6 o'clock, I'm okay. After that, it can be, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's more difficult for me. Bloody pollution. Right. Yeah, Scott, a lot of people have told me that. I've had a few tips already. You know, people have said hire a tuk-tuk for the day. I'm going to take a man's umbrella, you know, one of these little umbrellas, because it's going to be hellish hot in April, and I don't care what I look like. I'm going to have an umbrella, keep the sun off me. And I've heard it's a vast area laid out. So, you know, I don't know if I can hire bicycles or what, but I'll find out. I'm looking forward to it. I think the videos I'm going to make will be more about like the airport and of course, I'll include some Angkor Wat if I can. And, you know, the other place I'm going the next day, the Genocide Museum, Pub Street. I'll be going to Pub Street. The hotel's very close to Pub Street. But yeah, looking forward to it, Scott. Ryan, hi from New Zealand. Hi, Ryan. How you doing? I like the tattoo Welsh flag there. Jason Finch, holy moly. Right, Solar Life, Portugal. Good advice. We stayed in some amazing hotels. Banyan Tree was amazing in Bangkok, but the New World Saigon in Vietnam VIP residence was the best. You know, I'm not a wealthy person. I'm not poor, but I'm not a wealthy person. When I used to come here to Thailand, at today's rates, or even Patia, I don't go for the bargain basements. Like, I don't go for these like a 600 baht room that's over a go-go bar, or, you know, the sort of thing I'm talking about. You know, it's got nothing. You climb a set of stairs and there's all the girls are getting changed, or you can get, you know, these cheap, nasty rooms you can get that's still got the old TVs, the square boxes, and smell of cigarettes, and they're typical Thai dark wood, dark rooms. I don't go for that. But I never used to splash out, you know, not big money. My budget was normally, I'd take a hotel anywhere between 1,000 and 1,500 baht, and they're all nice. They're always nice. I never had I have had a bad one, but I can't tell you which one it was at the moment. But yeah, I mean, 1,000, 1,500 baht, you can get a lot of good accommodation even in Thailand for that. I think you meant how is Mali, right, Jason? How is Mali? I mentioned this in my last stream. I'm not actually making videos with Marley at the moment. I'll tell you why. She didn't really bring much to the channel. You know, some people did like her, but the reason I brought Marley into the channel, I thought it would bring something to the channel. The videos I did with her didn't do well at all. And in fact, some people left comments saying, look, I just don't like her being in a live stream. She's annoying. So I think nice enough girl, but I wasn't benefiting from it, you know, and I was having to give her some cash. And sorry about the old nose thing. It's a bloody thing again. You know, and I was having to buy her lunch. And if we went out for the day, you know, it was quite expensive. You know, I'd drive down when we did the railway market where the train comes through the market. So, you know, I drove 2 hours down there, 2 hours back. That's gas, right? Petrol. And, you know, I'd have to buy her lunch. And she was not a nimble eater. I mean, she eats, you know, she wants 2 or 3 dishes, you know, snacks on the way, cans of Coke and stuff. And yeah, I just wasn't making anything back of it. So I didn't make a video with her for a while. She texts me and she says, oh, don't you want to do videos with me anymore? And I just said, look, Marley, maybe another time, but for now it's not working. And she just said, okay. So I might do one with her in the future if I can think of something that's really spectacular. But it's not doing anything for the channel. So I'm not doing any more with her. That was a bit perverted, that video. Whereas lunch works for me. Normally don't go into Bangkok during the day. If you're willing to ride down to Central Rama 2, that's quite a way off, isn't it? Maybe we can meet somewhere in between. We could catch up there. The problem is, Wes, I don't expect everything to be on my doorstep. I just haven't got enough minutes in the day, you know. A lot of people, I don't meet them because I just don't have time. Like tomorrow I'll be out making a video. Wednesday, Thursday, I'll be editing that video. Thursday, I'm in Patia. I come back Sunday. I've got 3 hours of live streams. And then on the Monday, I've got to prepare all the competitions for the live stream for the following 2 weeks. And then the stories have got to be done. They take 2 days to do. So to actually spend time on a taxi or a BTS going half an hour somewhere and half an hour back, it's just unproductive for me. You know, we'll try and sort something out. McLaren, the Western chain hotel price has gone through the roof in Bangkok. It's all supply and demand, isn't it? Okay, look, Jason Finch, you keep leaving a comment saying I like Marley. Okay, I've explained it now. You've left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you keep, I don't know if you're kind of trolling me or it's a genuine question, but if I keep getting them, I'm going to have to block you. Unfortunately, I'll leave it for now because I'm sure you were just trying to get the message read out, but I've read it now. Right, Michelle's Bites, is it? Or Michael's Bites, rather. Sorry, Michael. Me and the missus are going to Coconut Island in June. Any advice for first timers in Thailand? Just don't take it too seriously. Enjoy it. If somebody suggests to you, let's go there, there's something good about going. Do everything on your own initiative. You know, don't get talked into going somewhere or buying something. Just take it. Play it by ear. There's nothing to worry about. You'll have a really good time. There's no advice I can really give you. Just watch out for scams and stuff. You know, prices, especially taxis and tuk-tuks. Mind you, saying that though, you've got grab and bolt now. Perbert, can you drink alcohol in public? Everyone does it like vaping, but could you get fined? That's a good question because you know vaping is against the law here in Thailand, and people do it, but they've been coming down hard on. They've just seized a load of vapes that were brought in from China, like a few million bahts worth, and they take it really seriously. It's one of the reasons I gave up vaping. I've told this story so many times on this channel. I was on a beach in Hua Hin watching the sunset by myself, and I was vaping. And I looked up, and there's a big sign, and it says vaping is illegal in Thailand. Penalty 20,000 baht, fine, or 2 years in jail. And I thought, 2 years in jail for vaping? That was it. You know, I gave up on the spot. But I don't think drinking is illegal. I don't think drinking alcohol is illegal because I see Thais on the street with a bottle of Chang, you know, sitting down on a chair or walking down the street. I don't actually know. It'd be good to know. I don't think it is, if I had to guess. Scott again. Angkor Wat, lot of walking and big stairs inside each temple. It's only walking inside, but yes, tuk-tuk between temples is good. Was very hot April when I went. Well, what most people have sort of advised me to do is they've said, look, hire a tuk-tuk for the day. I don't know. I mean, I've heard like silly prices where people said it's $5 for the day. I don't believe that. It can't be that cheap. But even if it's $30 for the day, that's the thing to do, isn't it? You know, get up early, you know, go out at 7, 8 in the morning after breakfast and keep the guy till 4 in the afternoon. And I might even try and arrange somebody who can do a tour for me, you know, and just tell me where to go. Pooping while standing. Okay. Are women as feral as the soy dogs we have in America, aka the progress? No, I don't want to get into that. Wes, yeah, I can borrow one of the sister-in-law's cars and meet somewhere. Can you not do the BTS from where you are, or the SkyTrain, Wes? Maybe we can meet close to a BTS station. I don't know if you can, if there's one near you. Kenny N. Subic. It is. I'm not going to say the word, but it is. Yeah, it's still. It's not illegal. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to stop people walking around smoking this stuff. You know, you've got to be designated areas and things. Obviously, they don't want kids to get their hands on it. There you go. Exactly what I've just said there from Dog. He's saying the same thing. Okay, right. If you've just joined me this afternoon, welcome into the stream. I'll just repeat myself from what I said at the beginning. The reason I'm doing the stream today is because the pollution is so bad today. I can smell it when I get outside. It's 165. I don't want to go out in it. I'd have to wear a mask, and I've got nothing much going on this afternoon. I wasn't going to sit and watch TV. I thought, why not do an unscheduled stream? We've been going for about an hour now, and so far so good. I'll keep it going for a while longer. Let's put that one up. More than like, it's a bit like the UK. Drinking in public is not illegal unless it's signed a no drinking zone. There are a number of towns now where, yeah, you're right. They'll have a picture of a bottle of beer or something with a red line around it, and they have no drinking zones. That's to kind of stop troublemakers more than anything else. Ryan, oh, you got a Welsh name. That's why you got the flag on. Evans, you can't get any more Welsh than that, can you? Bit of useless info. Angkor Wat is the name of a chain fast food outlet here in New Zealand. Okay, are they from Cambodia by any chance? Jason, no need to apologize. I just got to be careful, Jason. I mean, it's sometimes people write their question multiple times because they want to get it answered, and I get that. I understand that, but I get other people who come in and just keep bang, 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 bang. And I was trying to distinguish. I mean, I recognize your name from other stream. I was just trying to distinguish. Right, is this guy like trolling me now, or is it genuine? And now I know you're genuine because you don't need to apologize. But that's the reason why I said it. I wasn't being like snooty about it. Okay. Thank you, Dave Val. Yeah, Perbit, thank you. Solar Life Portugal. My goodness, thought it was bad enough when we met. Thought it had cleared up by now. It cleared up last week. You know, I said to somebody, I was outside, and I said, "Oh, look!" I looked, and it was green, 49, I think it was. That's good for Bangkok, and it's all back now. I remember when I went to Koh Samet a while ago. I say a while ago, probably a good 6 months ago now. I just, out of interest, I'm on an island in the sea, right off Rayon, Koh Samet, and I looked on IQ Air. I thought, I wonder what it is here. 4, the number 4. That's what it was. Brilliant. Mr. Lovegrove. Hi, Peter. Some of the research on air quality is quite concerning. Do you feel like you've noticed any persistent respiratory issues yourself? Yeah, I have. I mean, I thought I had the flu 2 weeks ago, and it still hasn't cleared up now. I had a very runny nose. I was blowing my nose every sort of 5 minutes or so, and I was coughing a lot. But I don't know if I had a flu. I don't know if I had the flu or it was because of the pollution. So the flu I had, or not the flu, the cold I had, what I thought I had, has kind of gone. But I've still got a runny nose. You know, it's not like constant, but I still have to blow my nose occasionally. You see me on the stream. I keep picking this thing up, all right? And I think it's a pollution, but I'm very, very careful now. When I go out, I wear it's called an N9 mask. That's supposed to keep the particles out, okay? You can hardly breathe with it on, it's so thick. I wear it on the BTS because there's a lot of flu-like symptoms going around. Yeah, I think it's a big concern. Like I said earlier, over 30,000 people a year die in Thailand due to respiratory problems. And I think if you come in here for any length of time, you've got to be aware of it. And it's not a case of like, well, if I'm not in Bangkok, I'll be fine, because they get it in as far down as Patia, you know, and up north, all the burning. And, you know, I think none of us like to wear a mask. I don't like to wear a mask. I hate wearing a mask. But, you know, I'd rather try and stay healthy. And hence why I'm not going anywhere this afternoon, because I'm in my apartment. I don't smell any bad air like I can outside. Richie, that's very generous of you, mate. Thank you very much. Have a few beers on me. I'm actually going out for a meal with a friend tonight, and I think this will just about cover it. So thanks, a nice one. That's it's generous of everybody who does super chats, but this is particularly generous, Richie. Thank you very much. I think that's Cairo in the background in your picture there, isn't it? Yeah, you're on a camel. Wow. No, I've been to the Middle East. Never been to Egypt though. Always wanted to go. Did Bahrain? Did the worst place I went to was Syria, Damascus in Syria. That was horrible. Did Bahrain, did Abu Dhabi and Dubai, but this was late 80s. Right, let's go back and see some of these I've missed. Okay, lucky man, where's lucky man? Chillax Vibes, good afternoon. I've been watching your channel. It's good information for Thailand and nice stories. Great channel. Thanks. I'll put that up there. Nice to have a nice complimentary comment there. Catman, hi Peter. When are you getting your state pension? So it's interesting with my state pension because it's quite low. You know, in the UK, even if you get the maximum. Frankel's just got his, and I think he gets £208 a week, which equates to about 832. It's about $1,000 a month we get if you pay in for 30 years. Okay, well, I didn't pay in for a lot of years, and I didn't think about my state pension. I will answer your question because it's a good question. Let me get it up on screen. Okay, there is error. Right, so it's a good question. And I never, working abroad, you don't think about, you think you're never going to be 65 or you're going to, 66 the state pension is. You think, well, I'll never be 65 or I'll die before I'm 65. And when you're young, 30s and 40s, you don't think about it. But as you start approaching the age where you might rely on it, you start to think about it and you start to worry about it. So I went into mine about a year ago, 18 months ago, and I had a look. And we've got a website in the UK called the Government Gateway, and it tells you how much tax you due. What you can look up your old tax records, your pensions, your missing years of your pension. I think to qualify for anything, you need a minimum of paying in for 10 years. Okay, the full amount at 30. So I went in, and I was only qualified to get £158 a week. For the Americans, that's about $175. It's nothing, right? And I thought, blimey, you know, if I have to rely on that one day, I'm going to be up the creek without a paddle, as they say. And I phoned them up and I said, look, because you're supposed, Simon, my friend, he went into his and he can actually top his up. There was a link. Okay, if you want to top up this year, top up that year, and he could top it up. But mine didn't have those links. So I actually phoned up the Inland Revenue from here in Bangkok, and he looked it all up for me and he said, well, you can top it up by 7 years. He says 6 years now. I had to send £1,000. He says he gave me I think it was a 15-digit code. I didn't think the bank was going to take the code, but he said it will. That's the maximum. I sent £1,000. That was 6 years, and then I was able to get my accountant to edit last year's tax return to pay that one, and I've got one more to pay. So I will get a maximum of £198 a week. And if I'm in Thailand, I mean, how much would that be? 198 a week times 4. So I'll get £792 a month, right? So the rate today is about 43, but let's just say 42 because they don't all give 43.50 or something it is. So let's just say we do baht, times that by 42. So I'd be on 33,000 baht a month. Now, you could, if you're an old guy here and you're not going out drinking and all the rest of it, you could live on that. I've got other stuff going on, so I'm not relying on that, right? But I could live on that. If I lived in somewhere like Chatham, I could rent a nice little apartment for probably in Chatham for about 7,000, 8,000 a month. You know, you could live minimal, you know, do your own cooking and all that sort of stuff. So it's not a lot, but it's something, isn't it? So a good question there. Right, Andrew B. Hi, Peter. I'll be back in the kingdom this next week. I was disappointed to learn that Patia Hua Hin ferry still has not been reinstated. Yeah, it was a good service. It was 1,200 baht to go across from Hua Hin. Well, it was the other way, wasn't it? From Patia to Hua Hin, 1,200 baht. But if you went VIP, it was 1,400 baht. But it closed down during COVID and it hasn't been reinstated, which is a shame because I've actually drove from Patia to Hua Hin. and it took me 5.5 hours, and I stopped once for 10 minutes to go for a pee. Okay, so it's the other side of the Gulf. If you imagine the Gulf of Thailand, it looks like a horseshoe, doesn't it? So you've got Patia there, and you have to go all the way around there to Hua Hin, and the boat did that, so a lot easier. Yeah. Jason, you should do an interview with a bar girls. I've been trying for a long time to do that, but they generally don't want to go on camera because, none of them are bar girls, are they? You go up to Isan and they'll all tell you their daughters work in Bangkok as a cashier or a waitress, and she makes really good tips. That's why she's got all the gold. None of them tell their families they're a bar girl. Shame of the village, isn't it? I haven't gone out hunting for somebody to do it, but I used to assume that anybody I'd want to do an interview would say yes, but there's a lot of people who don't. I've asked 2 people today, actually, one today and one yesterday. Can I do an interview? There's a guy, I won't mention any names just in case he's listening, right? So there's a guy who lives in the Philippines full time. He works there, but he comes here every 3 months for about 2 weeks because he just likes Thailand. He's got a Thai girlfriend. But he works in the Philippines. And I said, it'd be great to do an interview with you. You could tell us the comparisons between living in the Philippines and living in Thailand, the good points and the bad points. Oh, I don't want to be on camera. And I understand. Not everybody wants to be on camera. That would have been a good one. The differences between the Philippines and Thailand. Right. Learn to say delicious in the Thai language. Peter, what did you think of Okay, I'm not going to address that one. Right, Kenny N. Subic. My trip last year was ruined by the air pollution. You try living here with it. Shane, how you doing? You were recently in Patia, weren't you? Greetings, Peter. The Patia girls love my new earring. Yeah, I've seen that picture. Paul Hoskins, instead of smoking booths, maybe they should have clean air booths. Yeah, exactly. Herbert, random question. Do you wash your veggies, meat with tap water or boiled water? I don't think you can really wash vegetables with boiling water because they'll go limp, won't they? But I never used to wash vegetables at all because in the UK, you buy an apple and you just eat it. You don't think twice about it. But a friend of mine who does cooking as well, a Thai person, said, look, you need to wash all the vegetables. And I was actually talking to a Thai one time, and where was it now? I was doing something with a salad, okay, and I pulled one of the leaves off, and there was a caterpillar on the salad. And I was like, "Oh shit, a caterpillar! This is definitely getting washed." And the Thai actually said to me, "Oh, that's really good. Look, Thai people like that. That's good." I said, "What's good about caterpillars crawling all over your food?" She said, "It proves that it hasn't been pesticides. It hasn't been sprayed with chemicals, or the caterpillar wouldn't be there." Good point. But in answer to your question, yeah, I wash everything because I do a lot of cooking and I use a lot of vegetables, especially in stews and things. And cucumbers, tomatoes, onions, they all get washed. But I just run them under the cold tap and rub my hands over them and stuff. I don't go mad. How you doing, big shot officer? Okay. Dave Val, did you hit diggers in Bahrain? Diggers, I'm not sure. Who's that? Did you hit? I don't understand, Dave. I don't understand the question, mate. Yeah, be a bit more clearer with that one. Have you been to Jerusalem? I've never been to Israel at all, dog. The bloke, morning, 4:40 a.m. in Atlanta. What's your favorite healthy food? That's the problem, though, isn't it? All my favorite food is unhealthy. I'd have to say favorite healthy food has got to be a nice salad. I don't mean like a lettuce leaf and a slice of tomato. I mean a really good Greek salad, with the feta cheese. I know it's cheese, but you did ask. Small baby tomatoes, chopped up onions. One of them. Or they do a real good salad in what's that Mexican taco? Sunshine Tacos. They're all over Bangkok, but in Terminal 21 they do a kind of salad bowl that you can actually eat the bowl as well. I never do. It's made of tortilla, but they do a really good salad with chicken or beef. I always order it without the black beans. I don't like the black beans, but they're probably salad, I'd say. Brian says, you will live to be 100. This channel on YouTube needs you. You should see some of the trolling comments they get. You wouldn't think so. Big shot officer, retirement savings, very important. Yeah, you don't think about it. You need to, if you're young watching this channel, which I doubt there's many, you need to think about that. Paul Hoskins, I'm getting on now, but I find it hard as ever. Yeah, I know what you mean, Paul. I do understand that one. Scott, considering the pollution, is Patia a good place to retire? Was thinking pollution wise better than Bangkok or Chiang Mai. So look, the good news about the pollution is it's not here all the time. It's just this time of year. It goes on for a couple of months because of the burning, and it's not just Bangkok. It's Laos and neighboring countries. What they do, the farmers, it's expensive for them when they cut the sugar cane. It's expensive for them to put chemicals. So what they do to prepare the field for the next year is they burn all the stumps. Okay, and it kills all the little insects and stuff, whatever they want to get rid of. But it causes a hell of a lot of pollution. But it comes to an end. I mean, Bangkok's never going to be like zero air, is it? It's never going to be like living in the mountains. It's always going to be any city, even London's got a certain amount of pollution. But in answer to your question, you're saying, is Pattaya a good place to retire? The pollution is just as bad in Patia a lot of the times. Like I said yesterday, Franco's down there now, and I said, pollution is terrible here, Franco, in Bangkok, and he said it's just as bad here in Patia at the moment. And as I said earlier, you'd think if you've got a sea breeze going on, you wouldn't have so much pollution, right? But he said there is. It's better down there than here. Of course it is. This is a built-up city. Ellie the dog, do you ever collaborate with other Thailand YouTubers? I saw Buzz and Patio one. He owns a Gogo Bar, Laugh Out Loud, but has some useful info. I've done a couple of videos with Trevor from Buzz and Patio. I haven't spoke to him for about 2 years, not because we're falling out. He's in Patia, I'm in Bangkok. During COVID, we did a video together over the internet. I went down to Patia a couple of times. We did a video with him. So I know exactly who you mean. And in answer to your questions, yeah, I did a couple of videos with Bangkok Pat, but unfortunately, he's got a different client. He's got different viewers to me. And when Pat interviewed me, I interviewed him, put him on my channel, and he interviewed me and put me on his channel. But he got lots and lots of comments saying, "Oh, why have you got that Monga Peter on there? All he talks about is bars and soy cowboy and all this." And his viewers didn't like the fact that he'd interviewed me, so he had to turn the comments off. So he's got a completely different audience to me. I mean, I don't do it so much now. It's something that we used to do a lot in COVID because we were desperate for content and we couldn't get to Thailand, so we used to do it over the internet. I did, some live streams with Ed Sweeney. One of them was epic. It went on for 5 hours. Both of us drunk as skunks. Who else have I done them with? I think that's all for now. Maybe if you can remember any others. But yeah, I'm not planning to do any in the near future. Wes, living in Thailand, I can't get the Australian pension, so we both have to live off $4,000. So that'll be about £2,000 because it's easy to work out the Australian dollars because it's double what pound is. Income stream from 2 investment properties we have in Perth. Pension age is 65. I'm currently 65. Living in Thailand, I can't get the Australian pension. I don't understand that, Wes. Why can't you get the see? Well, how it works in the UK, you can get the pension wherever you are in the world. If you're in the Philippines, you'll get the raises every time they put the pension up. You get the raises, you get the rise because there's a kind of an agreement with the Philippines. But in Thailand, there's no rise. Now, I've got a UK address, so I'm okay. But I don't know, how does it work? It's strange that you just cannot get the pension at all, whereas especially if you've paid into it all your life. When our new government came in, this is one of the things they were suggesting. They were saying we're going to stop the old age pension and means test it. So meaning if you've got more than 30,000, if you've got a private pension with more than £30,000 coming in, you weren't entitled to a state pension. But the big question came up was, well, if somebody's been paying in out their salary for 30 years into their state pension, that's their money, isn't it? You can't just say, well, you're not going to have a state pension. Well, they can, they're the government. But I haven't, since they got in, that's kind of died off a little bit. So they've got a bit of an emergency budget on Wednesday. So let's see what they say then. No, my luck, they'll probably say raise the pension age to 70, Oh, okay. Richie is saying Diggers is a great bar in Bahrain, good rock band. Do you know what? It wouldn't have been there when I was there. I mean, I was in Manama in Bahrain. So if you know Bahrain, you'll know I'm not bullshitting you because I know where Manama is, right? And there wasn't these kind of modern bars. I mean, I'm talking like 1987. It wouldn't have been there then. I was there. Remember the Little King? I forget his name. We used to go on his beach. He used to let foreigners on his beach on a Sunday. Dave Val, Diggers is a popular expat bar. If you can't remember, you answered already. Okay. Martin Ryder, greetings from Da Nang. You're getting about a bit, Martin. What are you doing in Vietnam? Paul, I'd go into Dodgers Bar. Leroy, air in London is disgusting. Is it? I was always led to believe because of net zero and all the crap that they're doing there that it was good air. It can't be as bad as here, for surely. How to say that? Chilex vibes. Hi, Peter. I've been last year in Rio, Brazil. This will be my first trip to Thailand in a couple of months. I've been chatting with a lady online. I hear your stories. I'm curious about meeting her. Maybe story after. You got to be really careful. You know, these girls, there's a lot of girls on Tinder and stuff. They just want to meet a foreigner, any foreigner, because they think, you know, you've got lots of money and they're going to get looked after. It doesn't necessarily mean they're bad girls. They're not, you know, they're not. There are freelancers on there, of course there is, and ladyboys and all sorts. But there is a lot of normal straight girls on Tinder, and they just want to meet somebody to kind of have a better life, you know. So I think take it slowly, very slowly. Involved in takeaways, bin man. Love your work, Pete. Heading to Patia on a golfing holiday. Can you recommend any of the bar crawls from there? Buzz and Trevor, Fat Tom, Welsh Boy, Webby. I don't particularly go on. I can't handle alcohol as well as I used to when I was younger. I went on one with Trevor once when he was first started them. I didn't get all the way around there, but they're pretty much all the same. You know, some of them charge you some money to go on them. Some of them don't. You're probably better to go on one of the free ones just to experience it. And they tend to have their set of bars they go around. And yeah, no, I can't recommend any one of them. They're all pretty similar. Thank you, Kevin Sutherland, for that. I appreciate that, Kevin. That $10 there. Get another drink. Right. Okay. How long have we been going? Nearly an hour and a half. That's all right. Got nothing better to do. Sounds terrible, doesn't it? Right. Right, MJ Rocket Skates was in the kingdom for all of February. Only good thing about coming back to Australia was the clean air. That is, you know, people will say to me sometimes, is there anything you miss about the UK? And pretty much, obviously my daughters, my dog, Benji, the beagle, I miss him. He was like my best mate out there. But one thing I really do miss, and I took it for granted, is clean drinking water and fresh air. I know there's been a few scandals with rivers getting polluted and stuff like that. But, you know, especially where I lived in a market town in Northamptonshire, you know, you come out in the morning, the air is, you know, I mean, it's fresh air, clean, fresh air all the time, you know. And here it's, you know, you take it for, if you live somewhere and you've got really nice fresh air, you just take it for granted. And then you live in a place like Bangkok or probably one of those South of America, Mexico, somewhere like that. They've probably got cities that are just as bad. I mean, Delhi, I was watching the news. The pollution there was 400 p.m. 400 people were going into hospital with respiratory problems. 400. If it was 400 here, I'd definitely move out of Bangkok. It'd kill you in under a year, wouldn't it? It does tend to go down in the evenings, though. Let's see what it is now. It was 165 earlier. And if you're coming here, I highly recommend you get IQ Air. It's an app. And it shows you exactly wherever you are in Thailand. It's still 158. You don't want to be breathing that shit in all day, every day. You'll get ill. Right. Andrew B says, I'm an Australian. You cannot get the state pension from outside your country. That's weird, really weird. I mean, if you've paid in for it all your life, how can they not give it to you? Not saying you're lying, of course you're not, but it's just, Can you not just simply have an address in Australia? Like, say I know it sounds simple, but can't you just say you're living with your brother or something and then you are living in Australia? Or do they check the passport when you go out? I don't know. Doug, with you on wearing masks to avoid high AQ days. You know, I hate it, Doug. I hate wearing masks. I really do. They're uncomfortable. It's hot, but you've got to do it. You've got to look after your health, haven't you? Whereas, yeah, it stinks. I have to come back to Australia to live every 6 months. Okay, I've learned something today. So I suppose that, I mean, I'm always harping on about things that aren't right in the UK, but I'm quite lucky. I'm quite lucky that I can still get my state pension. Right, Mr. Lovegrove says, UK pensions are a benefit, not an entitlement. They can change things at any point, and there is no UK pension pot we pay into. Current taxpayers fund pensions. It's a crazy system. I kind of agree 50% with that, but you do pay in, you get money taken out of your salary every month for 30 years in order that you get a state pension. So if you're not going to get a state pension, why would you have to pay that money into the government? It wouldn't be right, would it? Andrew B. Superannuation is paid into by employers in Australia as an obligation and can be topped up by individuals. This can be claimed abroad. The state pension cannot. Okay, I haven't got any. The only private pension I've got is my rental properties, but they're owned by the bank at the moment. Okay, Martin, you're saying Da Nang is the cheapest place in Southeast Asia. Is it cheaper than Siam Reap? Because somebody told me it's happy hour in Siam Reap. It's 27 baht for a bottle of Anchor beer, and out of happy hour, it's 37 baht. Sean, how you doing? I just got back from Bangkok, brought home some Wok Star Express Western China. Do you know what? I went round there. Was it you, Sean, who suggested it? So I went round there yesterday with a friend. When you mentioned it on the stream, I actually went round there and I looked at it, but I didn't look at the menu. I just seen all the Chinese signs. And I said to a friend, because we're looking for somewhere different to eat, and I said, let's go around and have a look at this place. We went round and I went inside and I looked at the menu, but it's quite pricey in there, isn't it? If you order like the box of Chinese food, you're looking at about 270 baht for one dish. So if you wanted... if you wanted a couple of dishes and a starter, you're looking, 700-800 baht probably. I notice they do. It must be owned by an Australian because they do burgers and stuff as well, don't they? But I will try it. Okay, thank you to. Oh, how am I going to say that now? You're on screen. Thank you very much. I don't want to slaughter your name, okay, and I will because I can't pronounce it. But all the best, Peter. Like your style. Is it Piotr? Yeah, I can't. But thank you very much. Okay, over 200 in now. As I say, on a Sunday afternoon, there's a lot of competition with live streams because there's plenty of people in Patia who are doing. I think of two people who are doing live streams down there. When I do it in the evening, I think I'm the only one doing it. But it's fine. It's fine. Right, Keith. Not all online relationships are wrong. I never said they were. Met my wife online. She's here in the UK with me. Started a business together. I'll drop you the story at some point. Yeah, Keith. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't saying that they're all wrong. I mean, I know. I'm not going to name them, but I know several people here who have met their wives and girlfriends online. They've got great relationships and they're real nice girls. But what I'm saying is it's a minefield. You can't come out. Some people come out here and they assume because they get a girl on a dating site rather than a bar. It's not a bar girl. They assume 100% she must be okay. And you know yourself, if you've looked on dating sites, there is a lot of scammers. There is a lot of people who are like freelancers who pretend they're not freelancers, that sort of thing. That's what I'm talking about. But of course, there is a lot of nice girls on there as well, because as I've mentioned many, many times on this channel, in Thailand, once a girl gets past 30, she's kind of for the Thais, she's past her sell-by date. They don't want a girlfriend who's kind of 30, 35, 40. And there's a lot of beautiful girls on Tinder and Badoo. They're like 40, 45, beautiful girls, but they've got no chance of having a relationship with a Thai man because they just don't want to know when they're that old. And you know yourself, if you're 60 and you've got a girlfriend who's 45 and she's beautiful, then you're not going to turn her down, are you? I certainly wouldn't. Right. Leroy, in Thailand, sometimes I just miss a cold breeze to cool down. Yeah, I kind of miss that as well. Sometimes it's nice to not be hot all the time. It's the humidity that gets me. I don't mind the heat. It's kind of nice walking to 7-Eleven and feeling the sun on your back. I like that. But it'd just be nice sometimes to not have that humidity. When you go out in the evening, it's sticky and, you get hot. You have to have a shower. Every time you go out, you have a shower. That's what I miss. Yeah, I love the hot weather, but it's the humidity. I wish it wasn't there sometimes. Hobson's choice. Being honest now, I'm missing the UK, fresh air, and the changing of the weather seasons. Yeah, I don't like slating the UK. I mean, there's a lot of you guys who are out here full time, and they just speak very, very badly about their own country. I mentioned that before. I don't really like to do that. The UK is my country. I might need to go back for whatever reason. If I get seriously ill or something, I might need to go back. But yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I don't miss it at all, really, not at all. Thank you, Gravel Billy. You're not with the fashion police, are you? I've got one of my flowery shirts over there. I've started to wear them now. I like them. Leroy, because governments are, yep, especially the one in the UK right now. MJ Rocket Skates, you can get the Aussie age pension living overseas as long as you were a citizen for over 35 years. I know a couple of guys living on just the age pension in Thailand. Okay, I'm not obviously Australian. I've never been there, so I don't know the rules. So different opinions coming out now. I'll have to take your word for it. Fitzy, how you doing? Another man I met here. They know from your passport, Peter, I'm Australian, so I know what your chatter was saying. Okay, so what you're basically saying is when you go out through the airport, it's logged onto the system. Obviously, the systems are all linked up, and they won't pay it. It's a bit different in the UK. You're entitled to your old age pension wherever you are in the world. It's just some countries it won't increase. There's a woman, I was reading about a woman in Spain who moved out to Spain, and at the time her pension was like £135 a month or something ridiculous, or £275 a month, and it's still £275 a month. It's 66, Leroy. It's not 72. Mind you, with this government, you never know, do you? At the moment, it's 66. I went into the government gateway, sir, and it gives me the exact date when I'm entitled to my pension. It's June. I can't remember the date. Something like the 6th of June next year. So it'd be nice to get some money out rather than have to pay it in. I'm going to have a massive tax bill this year. Doug M., if you are at retirement age, you don't have to return to Australia. You may lose Medicare benefits after a long absence. That's my understanding. Okay, I'm going to have to take all your words for it because I really don't know, not being Australian. Leroy, I lived foreign half my life too. Think my pension will be zero. You can top it up though, and it wasn't that bad really. I mean, I seen a financial advisor here about 6 months ago, and he looked at it, he said, it's not worth it, I wouldn't bother. But I'm glad I did it because, okay, I can afford to pay that 50,000 baht to the government now to top it up. When I'm an old guy on a pension, I won't be able to afford to send off 50,000 baht, right? But I could do it now. And the difference is, okay, I would have got 158, providing it all goes smoothly like I think it will, I'll get 198. So what's that? 60, 70, 89. So that's £40, 80, 100. So that's a difference of £160. Now, if I'm in Thailand, let's get the old calculator up again. He said it's not worth it. It's hardly anything, okay? But that's, you know, if you're living on a very tight budget here in Thailand, that's an extra 6,720 baht a month that I'm going to get, right? Well, you can do a lot with that, especially if you're living in a quiet town. You know, you can get a lot of shopping for 6,720 baht. So that's why I did it, really. I mean, he's right in a way. It's not that much, but for me, it was worth doing. 66, Mr. Lovegrove. Leroy said, I thought they were increasing the age soon. So if they did increase the age, I wonder how that would work for me, because it actually gives me a date and it says you will get your pension on this date. I wonder if they'd honor that because they've already given me a date, or they just say, well, all the rules have changed now, so you're not getting it. Wes, Australian government data match with Centrelink, who pay the pension. I also have my superannuation. Okay, I got it now. I got it. Right. I'm going to move away from the comments about the Australian pension. I think we've talked about that one enough now. Doug, I had a ball in Da Nang with cheap beers, 3 for the price of 2, and my hotel presented me with a birthday cake on my 70th birthday. That's exceptional customer service. Oh my God. That is very nice birthday cake. Talking of birthday cakes, you know, if you do have a serious Thai girlfriend here, you've got to get her that cake on a birthday, right? It doesn't matter if it tastes like cardboard; she doesn't care. It's the photographs, you know. You can get a cake and make it out of paper and mache, as long as it looks nice and you got cream and cherries and I love you across the top of it. She's got the pictures for Facebook and to show her colleagues at work. You've cracked it. You know, that's what it's all about. They want the pictures, the photographs. Leroy, grey Sunday morning here, 9 a.m. in the UK. I used to like Sunday mornings in the UK. I used to skip out on breakfast, and I used to go to the one of the big supermarkets in my car, and I used to pick up some really fresh sourdough bread, uncut, you know, straight out of the baker. One of the big shops like Tesco's or somewhere that has the bakery built into it. And I'd buy like 2 or 3 different cheeses, some really good ham. I'm not talking about that processed crap that they pump full of water, but really nice ham that they cut for me. And I'd go back and I'd have it all out. I'd have ham, 2 or 3 cheeses, some Branston pickles, some tomatoes, some gherkins. You know, I have it all spread out, and that was my Sunday kind of brunch routine in the UK. Really fresh bread, really enjoyed it. And the good news here in Thailand now, I can virtually do the same because they do bread in lots of different places now. For me, the best bread in Bangkok is Terminal 21 in the basement. They have a bakery there, and they've just introduced sourdough. That's a loaf I like. Sourdough bread, and you pick it up and it's still warm. It's not like, you know, like I won't name the company, but there's another company that says, you know, fresh. We bake on the premises every day. Yeah, they do bake it, but they get it in frozen. It's made in the bread is made in a central plant, frozen, delivered to the outlet. It's kept in a freezer. Then they bake it every morning. But that's not the same as like real bacon, is it? Mixing the flour and the yeast and then putting it in the oven and putting it out on the tray. This baker in Terminal 21, that's what they do. I think they're a Japanese company. So I buy 2 or 3 of these sourdough loaves at a time, and they used to cut them quite thick. But I like sandwiches. That's one thing I miss about the UK. I like to make my own sandwiches. So what I do now is I've asked them to cut it like that size, and yeah, I can have great sandwiches now. You know, I bought some great fresh, some great ham for tomorrow. You know, I have a fried egg sandwich. I can get really good back bacon here now. I had a bacon sandwich with brown sauce on it. You know, I'm getting hungry now. Right, okay. Martin, okay, we're not doing the pension. Dr. Div, hi Peter, what happened to the cool new tropical shirts? I'm looking at it right there. It's not like I've kind of suddenly changed overnight and I'm not going to wear nothing but tropical shirts. I do wear them and they're very, very comfortable, but I just decided to put on a Decathlon t-shirt today. Yeah, but the problem is, Paul, you said the best bar girls are the ones who have just started working in the bar. But if you ask any bar girl, she's literally just started. She started last night or last week, and none of them have been out with customers. All of them are in the bar just to make commissions on drinks. And you're different. You've got a good heart, you know. Wes, that's also the other reason I won't get the pension, because if the income from the investment properties. Okay. Stephen, 30 might be old for Isan culture, but I would guess Central Thai girls, Bangkok, are not hooking up until their 30s, at least in my work environment. Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, in a city, but the problem with that is I know a couple of girls who they concentrated on their career, but they get to close to 40 and then instinct starts kicking in. They're starting to think about, I want to have a husband, I want to have a baby, and they're already 40 then. When they're younger, it's like me when I was paying in the pension. I didn't think about it, not paying in the pension rather, but it's a good point. Okay, so I should get mine then, Paul, if that's accurate information. You're saying pension age goes up to 67 by 2028. So I'm due next year, so I'm going to get it then, aren't I? If that's true, Paul. Not saying you're lying, and just if the information you got's true. Martin, was in the Laos border last week. Everyone was wearing ski jackets. Went down to 70 at night. Lots of rain, but nice and sunny right now, but no humidity. You know, all this stuff that's been going on with these slave gangs on the border of Laos, you know, these Chinese gangs, they kidnap people and they lock them up in these places and force them to do scamming. I got a friend who went to Laos recently, and he said the police are at the airport, this end and that end, and they're kind of warning everybody, like, where you going, why are you going there? And, you know, they are proactive, the Thai police on it right now. It's good to see. Hobbs's choice. UK pension will not increase annually if you're here and disclose a Thai address. If you have a company pension, however, you're still entitled to get the annual increase. You'll have to read between the lines. Let's just say I have got an English address, okay, and that's all I'm going to say on it, right? Okay, I want to try and get away from this because we're going. It's turning into like the Australian state pension stream now, isn't it? Try and get onto another subject. We can talk about anything here, but let's try and get another subject going. Problem is, here we go. Sourdough with butter. That's the best I can do. Everything else is about Australia and pensions. Paul Hoskins, how many different Hawaii shirts do you have? I've only bought 3, Paul. I'll tell you why I bought them, because Franco wears them down in Patia, and I actually looked at him. I thought, because he's quite overweight, Franco. I don't think he'll mind me saying that, but he wears these big kind of, I call them Tom Selleck shirts. Do you remember Magnum PI? He used to wear them, the coloured shirts. And I looked at, when I go down to Patia, I meet Franco. He's not in the stream today, obviously, but I meet Franco, and I looked at him in these shirts. I thought, they look pretty good on him. So I came back to Bangkok and I tried to buy one or two, and they wouldn't fit because all the clothes here are like maximum is 2XL. I'm 3XL, even though I've lost the weight. I'm quite big. And so I went down to Patia and I thought, well, I might as well buy 3 because you can get the sizes down there. And they're really clever now. The material they use, one of the reasons I never bought shirts in the past is because you have to iron them, right? These you don't have to iron. But the material, they've got material now, you wash them and they come out and they look like they've been ironed. Fantastic technology. You just don't, the materials, it's like self-ironing, you know. Sean, I really like the beef shawarmas at the shop next to Foodland on Soy 5 and Bang. I'll tell you where you get a better one, much better one than there, Sean. I've had them there. I didn't think they were that great. If you go to Al Hussein and get the chicken tikka wrap, it's fantastic. It's a piece of naan bread. So they do the chicken tikka like in cubes, you know, on skewers. So it's all been marinated and everything. The chicken, it's actually chicken tikka. Okay, so they do it on the coals, as it were, and then they put a yogurt in the bread, kind of nice tangy yogurt, cucumber, onions, all that. They take the chicken and they wrap it up, bit of silver paper around. It's so much better. It's so much tastier and so much. The meat is actually good. It's not the meat on the one you're talking about. It's all bitty. They press it together, kind of thing. It's almost like reformed, isn't it? It doesn't. You try one of them. I think you'll agree with me if you have one. And they're cheap. They're like they used to be 90 baht. I think they're 110 now. But they're so much more substantial. Me and a friend used to go there and have them and as a meal. I don't tend to go there so much these days. I've taken. When I have the occasional Indian meal now, I go to the new Bukhara. It's really good Indian food. It's air conditioned. The staff are great. I'll go there at least once a week, once every 10 days, and I just prefer it over the Al Hussein now. And I think that the Indian food that they have tastes more like the Indian food we're used to in the UK. Yeah, that is nice. I'll put that on screen there. Hobson's Choice, you say, I see some of those flowery shirts in the MBK Centre. I don't buy any clothes at the MBK Centre, Hobson's Choice. The reason for that is because when I first got here, I couldn't buy any clothes that would fit me. I brought clothes from the UK, but, you know, it's all they say free size. And I'm actually quite a big guy. When I meet viewers, they say, wow, they presume I'm small. I don't know why. Maybe I look small on here, right? But I'm actually 6'1" and I'm quite big. And I find it very difficult to buy clothes. Now, when I first got here, I went to the MBK Centre and they do have like 5XL, 4XL. And I bought a load of polos. But, you know, I've never worn them. I think I bought 4 polos. Because when I got them home, I put them on and they just look rubbish. You know, the way they're cut, the material. You look at them in the plastic all folded up and they look nice. They're logoed up as well. You think, wow, 250 baht or whatever they're charging, do a deal 220. You think, yeah, it's nice, you know, Fred Perry or Lacoste, something like that. And you get it out and it's like it just hangs horrible and the material's not nice and stuff. So I just don't buy clothes from MBK. The shop I buy them from, I can't remember the name. Somebody will tell me again. It's a Japanese brand. Their logo is a red square. They do up to 2XL, and I bought some polos. They're like 799 baht, but they're really quality. The material's very thin, so you don't get hot. They fit really nice. The cut is really good on them, but they only go up to a maximum of 2XL. But it's real quality, you know. And they're in all the big department stores here. Ken. Peter, how did you quit vaping? Well, with the threat of 2 years in jail in Thailand, that's a real good motivator. No, I just said to myself one day, I gave up smoking several times, okay, before I finally gave it up. I gave it up for 1 year, 4 times. So in other words, I stopped for a year and I went back on it. I stopped for 5 years, believe it or not. And I was sitting in my garden one summer's evening with my then Korean wife, and she smokes about 3 cigarettes a day. And I was giving up for 5 years. And the problem with nicotine is you think you can, unless you've failed several times and you know it's not going to work, you think with cigarettes, you think, well, it's a year, 5 years, I can handle it now, I can have one socially. And you can't, you know, because it drags you in slowly. Forgive the pun, drags you in. And I was sitting in my garden with my Korean wife. She had a glass of some soft drink. I had a glass of white wine. And she was smoking, and there was no wind. I will answer your question. I'm building up the story, right? So that we're sitting on some garden furniture on the patio. There was no wind, and she was there with her cigarette, and the smoke was just doing this straight up because there was no wind. and I got a whiff of it. This is after 5 years, and packet of cigarettes on the table there, and I thought, sod it, I'm going to have one, just one, and then I won't have another one. And I lit it up, and I was spinning, head spinning, like when you had your first one years ago. And then slowly, I mean, I started playing psychological games with myself, saying, right, well, I'm not going to start smoking again, but I'll have one every night after dinner. And then normally I'd have dinner at 6. I started having dinner at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, just so I could have that cigarette. And I went back onto it, and I started smoking for another couple of years. And I just got to the point where I really wanted to give it up, because I could feel it on my lungs. And, we all know smoking is dangerous. I'm not preaching. If you want to smoke, that's up to you. I'm not, I'm not a reformed smoker who goes out and preaches. Personally, I'm glad I gave it up. I can't stand the smell of it. And I smoked since I was 15. You don't realize until you give it up how filthy it is. You smell somebody 10 yards away, 10 feet away. It's disgusting. And I didn't know. I'd have a cigarette, stomp it out, and get in a taxi, not knowing that guy, he can't say anything to me. But what I did, I just couldn't, I needed to get off something else. So I got onto a vape. But the problem with a vape, it became like a baby's dummy. I had it in my mouth all the time. When you have a cigarette, you put it out and you might not have another one for 20 minutes. With a vape, I just constantly had it in my mouth. And the way I gave up, I just said to myself one day, this is ridiculous. I put it in a drawer. I said, that's it. You're not smoking, you're not vaping. And what the vaping did, it took away the habit of the cigarette. Every time I wanted to make a phone call, I'd take a cigarette out and light it. Then I'd make the phone call. Okay, there were certain things that, in them, like 20, 30 years ago, when I was in England, I'd go for a meal. You'd have a starter. Then you'd light up a cigarette and you could smoke in restaurants then, right? But one day I just looked at myself and I said, right, come on, don't be a baby, give it up. And the first sort of week is challenging, but eventually you get used to it. And now I wouldn't put a vape in my mouth if somebody offered me £100. I just don't miss it at all. But saying that, I did enjoy a morning cigarette. When I got up in the morning, made my coffee, the first cigarette of the day, that's the only one I ever really enjoyed. Paul Hoskins says, I'm 4XL, but my clothes are 2XL. That would be a bit tight for you then, Paul. Leroy says, I haven't used my iron for 2 years. Hobbs's Choice, Al Hussein better. Hobbs's Choice, new Baccara, Peter, next month. I'd be interested to see what you think of the new Baccara, because I don't eat in the other one anymore because I like the new Baccara. Andrew Macari, is it? I find any clothing made from cotton, linen very comfortable and cool for your body. Yeah, you won't want to be wearing nylon here in Bangkok, that's for sure. Edward Lister, I haven't been in Thailand for 7 years, but now I think I'm going. Yeah, good place, apart from the pollution, but try and come after the burning season. After Songkran, it'll be okay. Over 200 in now. Good. Glad if you just joined me, guys. I'm doing a pollution live stream. I don't want to go out because the pollution is bad. That's why I'm doing a live stream. Not scheduled to do one, but thought I would. Let me just turn this aircon down. I'm getting really hot here for some reason. Right. Okay, see the old head starting to shine there. Right, Wacko Wambo. You should get them tailored, but also polos are not flattering on larger men. Yeah, I did go into an Indian tailor's to get some trousers tailored, but they just took the mickey, what they wanted to charge me. I can't remember at the time, but I said to the guy, I said, look, don't treat me like a tourist. I said, I know they're not this price. I took out my Thai driving license. I said, look, if you want to make them at a reasonable price, I will. But he just took the piss. I thought, I'm not going to do it. Those shirts look really good, on a bigger guy. Solar Life, Portugal. Da Nang is the place to get clothes. Okay, I've not been. Sean, okay, I will try next time. Alfred Jim, Decathlon shirts and even the shoes are great. Yeah, Decathlon do some really good casual shirts. What I like about these, this is a Decathlon shirt. The material is really, really thin, and they don't seem to. They seem to. You don't need to iron them or anything. I've got 4 of these shirts, but all different colors, of course. They're only like 250 baht each, but they do the size as well. If you don't know where Decathlon is, there's a big one up in Lotus on Rama 4. There's a smaller one in Terminal 21. Wacko Wamble, larger men should stick to button downs. Okay. Leroy, last time I went to Thailand, I disappeared for 24 hours. You probably didn't disappear. You're probably kind of like out of it with alcohol. Deanie-san, how you doing? That's the one. I'll put it up on there. I can't pronounce it. That's the Japanese chain shop. They do some great clothes. You know, they're really well cut, well filled. But if you're a big guy, I mean, really big, the point is to go anything up to 2XL. Some real nice shorts, trousers, everything. Yeah, that's a lot of people are telling me now. Look, I don't know how do you pronounce that. Uniqlo. Nathan, Beach Road has turned into Mumbai. Okay. Right. Diana got a hand-tailored dress made in an hour for 15 euros. Where was that though? MJ Rocket Skates. I tried all these shawarma huts on Soy Diana in Patia, 100 baht. Can't beat them. They're all great after half a dozen beers of a night out. I'll tell you where I used to eat when I was down in Patia for 2 months. You know LK Metro, well, they got kind of different sort of food carts at the entrance and the exit, and some of their like kind of kebabs and stuff were really excellent, and yeah, good prices, about 100 baht. I'll just put some of these up because I haven't got anything to say on them, but they're worth reading. You say, whereabouts are you, Hobson's Choice? Because you're in Thailand, aren't you? I'm sure you're in Thailand, and you did mention it, but you know what my memory's like. I tend to have dinner. I'm doing fasting at the moment. So what I do is I tend to have dinner about 6 o'clock. I'm going to have some Mexican tonight with a friend. So I tend to have dinner about 6 o'clock. And then I do still drink beer, which is bad. But I normally drink 2 small San Miguel's, 100 calories in each one. And then what I do is I don't have any breakfast. I generally, like I got up at 9 o'clock this morning. Late, isn't it? I got up at 9 this morning. Is it Sunday? Sunday, I got an excuse. So I got up at 9 o'clock this morning and I have a cup of black coffee. I don't even have my protein shake anymore. I've got protein powder, but what I'm trying to do, see, the body uses lots of energy. It either, if you're eating food, if you've got food in your belly, that's what it uses for energy. But if your food's gone overnight and you're not eating and you don't take in any carbohydrates or any calories, then your body's relying on your stored energy. And the theory behind it is it's kind of the body's using your energy, in other words, your fat storage. So what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to do like a mini fasting each day. So I don't even have any protein because I don't know if that would start the body. I forget the name of it, but you know what I'm talking about, right? Insulin, that's what it is. It's all to do with insulin spikes and all that sort of thing. So what I do in simple terms, I'll have dinner about 6 o'clock. Yes, I have a couple of beers in the evening, a couple of San Miguel's. I go to bed. I don't eat in the evening. That used to be a killer for me, eating in the evening, turned me into a right fatty. And when I first got here, I'd be having cheese and onion toasty sandwiches at midnight, then going to bed, terrible. So I don't eat in the evening. So basically what I do is I have a dinner about 6 o'clock in the evening. And then I'll get up about 9 like I did this morning. I have a cup of black coffee or maybe 2 cups of black coffee. I check out my messages on Facebook and YouTube and all the rest of it on my kitchen table. And then I start my day probably about 11:30. And then I normally have lunch at 1 o'clock. So a lot of times I'll meet people for lunch or I'll cook something at home. I don't really care what I eat for lunch. I'm not dieting. So if I want to have, cod and chips, I'll have cod and chips. If I want to have a curry, I'll have a curry. Let me just answer this guy I'm having dinner with tonight. Just 1 second. Right. Yeah. Okay. He forgot what time we're having dinner. Right. Let me just say, Dr. Diff, welcome, new member. We on a normal week, not this week because it's an unscheduled screen. On a normal week, we have a regular stream at 8 o'clock Sunday Thai time, and then we have a member stream. And in the member stream, there's a lot of competitions and stuff like that. So welcome. Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to do. That's how I'm trying to keep my weight down because I hate dieting. I mean, some people eat to live. I'm one of those sort of people who lives to eat. I can't stop. A buffet is a killer for me. I can't go to a buffet because I don't stop until literally I cannot put another mouthful in. I'm not one of those people who has a little bit of each and then that he's done. I mean, I just keep going up. Not so bad now, but when I was in the UK, I'd go up again and again and again. And I'd be like a billy goat. You know, my stomach was ready to pop. And that's how I am with buffet. So I have to have controlled portions. But I don't mind at lunchtime. I just eat what I want. And then I try to eat a bit lighter at night. So I'll have maybe a couple of ham rolls or an omelette, or something like that. You know, maybe they do noodles on the street for 60 baht up there. I'll have them sometimes, but I don't have anything like a roast or cod and chips in the evening. I have what I want at lunchtime. Yeah, Martin, he said, take up cigars you don't inhale. But I don't need to, Martin. I don't miss smoking at all. You know, I mean, I have a few beers. I just don't have the desire to smoke. I've given up now for about 12 years. And the vape, probably, I don't know how long ago to give up the vape. 5 years ago. I just don't have any desire to replace it with anything. I'd be scared to death that I'd go from cigarettes. I tried smoking a pipe once. I tried to give up smoking, and I just couldn't do without the tobacco. So what I did, I bought a pipe. You know, I was stupid. I was only about 50 when I first went back to the UK. 2000. Yeah, I was 50, and I was there like puffing away on this pipe. You know, it was always going out, or it went red hot, or I just couldn't get the balance right. You know, and my wife hated it. Dr. Div, you said. I quit menthols in 1995, but before I quit, I couldn't imagine how I could drive a car without a cigarette. Menthol cigarettes that never did anything for me. I'd rather not have one than have a menthol. In fact, the few times when I didn't have a cigarette and a friend was smoking menthol, I would break the tip off, but it still tasted of menthol. And yeah, I know what you mean. The problem is with driving, it can be so boring when you're on a long journey. This particles in the air, anything to break the boredom. And your cigarettes are on your dashboard, aren't they? And every 5 minutes you're smoking, and in the end you get that nicotine headache, you know, where you've had too much nicotine. Hobson's Choice said, I meant we'll meet you there for lunch next month. Okay, so where are you? You're not in Thailand then, Hobson's Choice, right? Leroy, from my ex point of view, I disappeared. Okay. Nearly 70,000 subs. Yeah, I'm nearly there now. I'm on 69,500 and not that I'm counting. Hang on, I've got it open here. 69,562. But that's been 5 years it's taken me to do this. 5 years. And, you know, I see YouTubers, especially in Patia. There's one in particular down there I won't name, but they got 1.7 million subscriber, and she's been going for like 2 years. You know, some people, they just know what they're doing. Not that I don't know what I'm doing, but what am I trying to say? It's been a long haul. Franco, nice of you to turn up. How you doing? I didn't announce it. It's one of these streams I just decided to do off cuff, as it were. Nice to see you in. Having a nice time down there. We'll see you on Thursday. Well, we're coming on Thursday night, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So we'll see you one day next week, towards the end of this week, I should say. Hobson's Choice, 10 stops from you on the BTS. We'll email you. Okay, yeah, maybe we can meet in Terminal 21. That's a good place to meet, isn't it? Tommy Tran, what you're meaning about the new 30 days visas for throwing out the up to no good freeloading tourists? Okay, I'll put that up there. Like I said, we're all entitled to an opinion. Jim Beam Steve, the lamb kebab stall in LK Metro is excellent for 100 baht. Yeah, I'm not a great fan of lamb, but yeah, I get your point. Frederick, hello again from Samui. These days, somewhat cooler than normal for the year, mostly cloudy and good air. That's something, having the good air. Dog, I've started the same diet 2 months ago and lost 18k. It's worth it. So it's not really a diet, is it? You're fasting. You're just closing your body down to any fuel from an outside source. So it has to burn the fuel on yourself. I'll let you into a little secret. You know, when I was here, and I thought, right, I've got to lose some weight. I cut out all the carbohydrates. I was having omelets. I was having a lot of salads. I was having a lot of stews without any carbohydrates in, no pasta, no rice. I cut it out and I lost about 11 kilos. I got down to about 97. I weighed myself yesterday. I'm 101. So I don't want to go back up to 108, which was what I was when I started. You know, I should go up to the gym today, but I probably won't bother today. Because I'm doing this now and I'm meeting somebody a bit later on for dinner. We'll see. We'll see. The fasting seems to work for me. I started the same. Oh, I've just read that. It's a proposal, Martin. Have they changed the visa back to 30 days? It's a proposal, which 99% they're going to do. Doug, Peter, check the Angkor Wat during lunchtime while the tourists are away worked for me years ago. I'm actually going to book I'm going to book a tuk-tuk tour for the whole day, so he stays with us all day, and preferably somebody who knows, can take us on a good tour. I don't mind if I have to pay $100 for the day. It's a once in a lifetime. I don't think I'll go back there. And another reason I'm doing it, I mentioned it in the stream last time, because Thailand's always changing the rules and they're getting stricter with the visas. And they might turn around one day and say, well, you need 5 million in the bank if you want to retire out here. It's not impossible. Well, I couldn't come up with 5 million baht, in cash for a visa. So one of the other reasons I'm going to Cambodia is as a backup plan, because I don't know if you realize this, but okay, Cambodia is not Thailand. They don't have the infrastructure. They don't have everything that they've got here. But Siem Reap, I don't know because I haven't been there, but I've watched videos, and everything I've heard about Siem Reap is it's a good place. There's some nice bars, restaurants. It's clean. The people are friendly. It's cheap. But most importantly, you can get a retirement visa in Cambodia for a year for the equivalent for $300. You don't need to put any money in the bank. You don't need any 90-day reporting. You just pay your $300 to an agent and you get a year straight off the cuff, straight off the back. And you do that every year. I know people who live there. There's guys who are living there on UK pensions. And one guy in particular, I know, he lives in a place called Kampot. He says he's only got his state pension, and he says some months he doesn't spend it all. He's still got £200-300 left at the end of the month. So one of the other reasons I'm going is for that reason. If I'm not going back to the UK, never. I'm not saying never, but if I can't stay in Thailand, going back to the UK is not an option for me. I don't want to go to any first world country, Asia, like Hong Kong, Singapore, Japan, because it's going to be expensive, right? So my choices are what? I've got Thailand's done and dusted. It's got to be Cambodia. Well, it's not. I'm sure it will never happen, but it's a plan B, right? I've got Cambodia, Philippines, and Vietnam. That's probably the three. I've been to the Philippines. I don't think it's somewhere I'd want to live. Vietnam, I don't know. I've never been there. Maybe I should go and take a trip. So Cambodia is looking the favorite at the moment. I'm not saying I'm leaving Thailand. I'm just saying if the Thai government made the rules so difficult for some retirees to stay here like myself and I had to leave, then Cambodia would be a good choice for me. Check band, how you doing? Haven't seen you for a while. Hello, Peter and everyone's, and greetings from Prague. Long time I haven't made it to the stream. I do remember, you see, regulars, I do remember, and when they haven't been there for a while or they come back, I do know. Dr. Diff, I started a travel vlog channel last August. Now I have 63 subs. Oh, well. Let me give you a little tip if you're doing a YouTube channel, right? When I started my channel, it was a travel vlog. Okay, that was the idea of it. Then COVID came in and I had to come up with some different ideas and I started reading stories and stuff. But you know what? I've tried to do different videos, and the videos I thought would really work don't really work very well for me. I don't know why. If I do kind of like a travel vlog kind of video, like I'll give you an example, something like going to the Temple of Truth or Jump Team Beach, or I don't know, I kind of travel, going out Mekong Railway. Okay, so I went down to the Mekong Railway. That's the railway that comes through. I filmed that. I filmed the floating market. Took me all day, paid money for petrol and everything to get down there. Didn't do very well. It didn't do very well at all. It did, I think, 4,500 viewings. Right. I don't know why, apart from the stories, because I've done the stories for 5 years. I don't know why, but the videos that seem to work for me personally the best on my channel are the videos where I just sit and talk to the camera about a subject. I don't know why they work so well. If I go out and spend a day, like I did a video, how to get from Nana BTS to Icon Siam by BTS, river taxi, nobody interested, few thousand. I did Steve and me, we went to Kanchanaburi on the bikes, okay, bit better, 6,700. I can do videos like they do 4,000 or 5,000. Yeah, if I sit in front of a camera and give 14, I did one last month, 2 months, 6 weeks ago. I did a video called 14 Reasons Why I Don't Think You Should Buy a Condo in Thailand. 250,000 viewings. I mean, you explain it. Things to look out for when you're renting an apartment. 40,000 viewings. I mean, it's ridiculous. So, you've got to the guy who's said he's got 63 subscribers and he's got a travel channel. Who was it? Is this guy here, Dr. Diff? Just try some different stuff. If they flop, you've lost nothing, haven't you? You might find a subject that really works for you. Like I say, me just sitting talking to a camera seems to work. I don't know why. You might pick up on something that works for you. Give it a go. Right. I won't charge you anything for that advice as well. Gravel Billy 1, what about living in Indonesia? I lived in Indonesia a couple of times. I opened an Ibis hotel in Yogyakarta. There's nothing wrong with the place. I'm not going to slate it. It wasn't for me. I'll just say that. It wasn't for me. There's certain places I go to and I think, yeah, I like this. And there's certain places I don't like. And when I say I don't like, I just say they don't suit me, that I don't fit into that kind of country. And Indonesia, for me, didn't do it. Malaysia didn't do it. I talk to people who go to Malaysia all the time. It's a great time. Went to Malaysia, capital of Malaysia. Fantastic. Loved it. I'll definitely be going back there. I didn't like it. You know, I've been to Malaysia a couple of times, didn't like it. It's personal choice, isn't it? Some people might turn around and say, well, Cambodia, why would you want to go there? It's got nothing. Third world country, maybe. But it's what suits you. That we're all different, aren't we? Sean, yeah, the lamb... I was still talking about these kebabs, look, make me hungry. The lamb kebabs are awesome at the shop in LK Metro. It's called McDonald's. That's quite clever. The lady makes me a special box to bring back to Chonburi. There is I think there's a spelling mistake there. There's maybe a second shop on Soy Lagki. Yeah, okay. Right. This isn't the kebab live stream, so we'll take your word for it on that one. Barry Lim, have you ever thought about Malaysia as a retirement destination? I've just mentioned that, haven't I, Barry? It's not for me. Hobson's Choice, Siem Reap, Cambodia sounds quite appealing then. When you got time, go off and look at a few videos. Just put Pub Street, Siem Reap, Cambodia. It's quite interesting. It's more modern than you might think. Paul Hoskins, the best videos are the ones about the bar girls. Trying to move away from them now, Paul. Doug M. Peter, people trust you. That's why your talking head videos do so well. Bangkok Pat has a knack at doing documentary videos. His videos are really good. He doesn't put out a lot of videos, but the videos he puts out, he researches them very well. And he does videos that other people don't do. He goes to areas, you know, I haven't even heard of before. So yeah, he does. You've got to, if you're doing a channel, you've got to do something where you catch a certain. I'm never going to get 1 million subscribers. Let's face it. I'll be lucky. I mean, 10 years time, I might have 100,000, and I get that little silver plaque, which I'll never get because they got my old address on it. But you know, certain people they pick up on a certain knack and they do really well. That. Chris Parker, what was his name? Working Retired for You. He was very lively, wasn't he? He did very well, although I don't think he's doing videos now. Some people they just naturally, you know, do really well on any kind of social media. Okay, I'm not promoting the guy, so I'll leave it at that. I've given him a 9 out of 10, so that'll do. Right, guys. I've got to start packing away now because I've got to get changed and meet somebody for dinner later on. It's already 20 to 5 here in Bangkok. I haven't got very long actually. I've gone on. I thought I was only going to do an hour. It's over 2 hours now. I think I'm going to knock it on the head, guys. I will be back next Sunday. I'll be really tired because I'm coming back from Patia. Again, when I put the outro music on, have your finger on the volume because it's going to blast out at you, okay? It's always louder than the microphone. So, guys, look, thank you very much for joining me today. It's been a blast. All the guys who left the super chat, very generous. I do appreciate. I shall eat and drink for the next 2 days on them. Thank you very much. Everybody else, members, thank you for being a member, and all the guys who contributed today. And, of course, thank you to Chris for moderating today. Frankel, thanks, even though you came in at the last minute. From me, I'll be back from Patia next Sunday, and I'll be sitting in this very chair speaking to you, but at the normal time of 8 p.m. Thanks a lot, guys. See you real soon.